In a very rare occurrence of Kib not late, we are live. The little icons are still messed up. Kib claims this is a Streamlabs issue. We shall believe him this once.
Yeah, it's sadly a little bit of a bug, but we got our programmer friend taking a look into it, so hopefully it'll be patched up in no time flat.
We shall put Kib up against the wall next week. But for now, reprieve.
Wow, not blaming the corporation that actually did release the patch that broke things. Blame the Kib, who sat there and worked on a solution to fix it. Well, temporarily.
In the eternal name and eternal words of the commissar, Kyle. Very compelling. Now face the wall.
Now face the wall. You did your best, and quite frankly, your best wasn't good enough. You're gonna have to die.
Good try, Chick.
Good try. Oh, wow, rude. But fair enough. Can't really argue with that. Indeed.
But yes, today's topics there's going to be some Cavill, of course, because he is the only topic worth talking about right now, as far as I'm fucking concerned. Okay, that cleft chin, you know, and a little bit of D&D as well, because D&D apparently wants to get some kind of recurring spending system for a tabletop RPG, which is a brilliant idea, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic one.
I need to defend my honor again. The icon you see there is, I was paid to wear this. I don't have a choice. At the end of the year, I can finally remove it.
All right, this is the first official reveal of Brony Kib.
They don't know because the deal was I had to wear it on Twitter and I had to wear it on Discord. And I was like, yeah, it'll never get on YouTube. And, then this happened.
Every word he speaks right now is what we in professional circles often refer to as a falsehood or a lie.
The worst part is I can see my own audience. I can see you in there lying. You know the truth. You know the truth. Oh my God.
Go on, chat. Twitter dump that shit.
The worst part is our 3D modeler is going to give away an STL of Brony Aerith, and it's cursed. This meme has gone too far. It was funny at first when I got the money. I was like, haha, suckers. Now people are genuinely joining our community and be like, oh, so he's a brony? It's like, no, I'm not a... Capitalism has failed me in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a lot of money. 4G is 4G, okay?
Deserve. Now, I've got a couple of super chats before we get started. Let me go through those real quick. Robbie Gilpin says, is Arch playing Dwarf Fortress just a Norwegian man living his truth? Pretty much. Merry Christmas from equally or more cold and Fortress in northern Canada. Sincerely. RTG PS, is there value in me as a fan joining your fan Discord? And he continues, Robbie Gilpin, or joining your Patreon. Well, here's the thing. The way I view Patreon and stuff like that, Subscribe Star, even the membership over on the channel here, is mostly just as an optional way to give me money. Essentially, it's a way to support the creator, because I don't want to gate any content. The only content I gate behind it is on Patreon and Subscribe Star, etc. You get the lore videos on my lore channel a day early. And for membership, you also get some retarded little icons in the chat, and you get a little flare thing next to your name and stuff, and icons and stuff like that. You also do get access to any art I have created, like custom thumbnails, etc. But there's no like custom videos or anything like that. I'm dabbling with the idea of doing some like supporter only streams on occasion, just some relaxed stuff, because I don't want to gate off the content either, because it doesn't quite sit right with me.
I agree. That's a good move. There's a good motive.
But yes, I probably should put something exclusive like back there, like Markiplier's OnlyFans, for example. There might be a naked Arch at some point in the future, hiding his penis with a... Well, it couldn't be a champagne bottle, that's far too small.
Oh, no, Freudian slip! He's like, yep, oh, indeed. Shit, walk it back.
It's gonna have to be a beer keg.
It's gonna have to be... what's a small cup? You know, it's one of those shot glasses, maybe.
Gonna have to be a beer keg, otherwise couldn't possibly. It would be censored immediately.
Oh, good. Beautiful.
Baranga2 says, hello, Arch and Kyle, the Sholva. Hope things are good for you
Sholva.
both. Arch, I had sent Kyle a link to the environmental damage the Rings of Power did to New Zealand. All of the nature shots, all fake props.
Yeah, I showed it to Barge ages ago. We talked about it a little bit. Yeah, Chauvin. Wow, okay, that's how it's gonna be. He basically called me a heretic.
Yeah,
That's Jaffa for... You're a little fucking... Oh, I don't even know any slurs in their language. I'm not that nerdy. Reep. I just know what that means, though. Chauvin. Wow.
I also do know that, well, the entire Lord of the Ring things is probably going down the fucking drain. Like, the female directors, I have heard it passed down the grapevine that the other directors, the male ones, they might have been fired, straight up, as essentially scapegoats for the assness that was Season 1, and replaced with a bunch of female directors who've never really done anything in their entire lives. I think one of them had, like, a credited one episode on Real Housewives, or something like that.
Real Housewives?
Yep.
What the fuck? I mean,
Yeah, some
hey, at
Russian
least
stupid
they have experience, you know? It's better than nothing. Is that more
It's
experience?
something,
Hold on.
certainly.
Is that more experience than the people that developed the first season?
Herga says, I don't understand how D&D can be monetized. Well, I'm sure we'll find a way. The website is unneeded. The books, PDFs are out there, name your edition. People make their own character sheets and build their own settings. What the fuck is there to monetize? There's always a way, brother. And Magnus Lord becomes a member. Thank you very much. You gain access to pornography now in the background. Close to, anyways. Softcore. You know. YouTube and all.
Degenerate. But based.
I'm not the degenerate Albine Foxes. I merely commission. That is all, Kyle. I am guiltless. Now that we've also wasted a couple seconds of time before we move on to the first topic, I'd like to put out a quick little public service announcement here. I'll put it in chat as well once the little delay goes. I sent you a link. Dumbass.
Hold on, I'm opening it. Reap. All right, there we go.
All right.
Didn't I open that already?
So
No, that was a different post. Never mind.
I got sent a copyright takedown request. That is a strike from Offworld Industries. There is a tweet about this on my Twitter. I would greatly appreciate it if those of you watching could head over there for a moment, give it a like, and maybe tweet at Offworld Industries to resolve this mistake, because this is retarded. I used only footage from their Steam page in this view of it, so I'm presuming it is just a retarded intern or a bot, but it'd be great if everyone can give it a bit more attention to make sure that it reaches the people that needs to see it, because there was an actual copyright strike as well, which is the nuclear option.
Yeah, they take it too far. And honestly, not only should you check out Arch's Twitter and, you know, give it a retweet, and this is a good chance and a good reason to join Twitter, because when this shit happens, the only way these corporations or companies are going to know about it is if it gets enough signal boost for them to even notice. The other thing you can do right now, if you want to help Arch out with this problem, is go to Offworld Industries' website. These are the developers of Squad. Go to their website. They're on their contact page. There's a contact email, and let them know that some sort of mistake has been done. Because the only way they're going to know about that they pulled a whoopsie, you know, is people got to tell them. And you got to make sure that they know. Because that strike does all sorts of nasty stuff on a channel the longer that's there. So the sooner we remove that, the better. So
Yes,
get
so
to
it'd be
it.
lovely if you could spare a second to do that, and thank you in advance. Now, going back to the previous tweet you got there, Kib, the one about Cavill, boy, a little Cavill.
Back to Cavill.
So this was something interesting that popped up yesterday, and it's been really damn difficult to track down the precise source of this. There are some people claiming that is a transcript from the Dexumoy podcast, something like that. There are other people that says this was posted on one of the little bit of industry insider Reddits, the whiny ones, where people complain about their experiences in pampered showbiz, etc. So God only knows where exactly this came from, but I gotta say too, there are elements in here that has the ring of truth to them from a prog viewpoint, very much so. For example, in this little thing, they complain about what was it? That Cavill would constantly like interrupt them, the showrunners and the directors, and be like, "No, hey, like this isn't how it was in the books, or this isn't how this would do." And we know that he has done this because many of you might remember a while ago during season 2, there was a tweet from one of the writers, a woman, incidentally, which is this complaint comes from women, so who knows, that said that originally, in season 2, the death of Roach, Gerald's horse, was supposed to be played off as a joke or something, like some kind of comedy moment.
The fuck? Okay, fair enough.
I know, he's like, okay, that's weird. And Cavill apparently had read this and went like, no, seriously, like, please, let me rewrite this. This is stupid. And they let him, and the scene was way better. I don't know what the original one was, but I'm pretty fucking safe in making that assumption that what Cavill made was a lot better. So we do know that he has a history of going to the directors and the writers and going like, yeah, this doesn't fit the setting or the character or the books at all, and perhaps even asking for input. Like, okay. Now the thing is too, this smear only makes him look like an enormous Chad frequently. Honestly, as all he seems to have done is basically go, yeah, no, I'd like you to stay true to the setting, please. Like, could we not ruin this?
Yeah. Could we not? And honestly, that's actually, like, that's really good. Like, this is the kind of guy that if you wanted a Warhammer adaptation or a Starship Trooper adaptation, you want somebody who actually cares about the setting. But my biggest concern here is not that Cavill won't try his best, because it sounds like he's the right guy. It's the people going to be ahead of him, the executives, the guys that have the power to say what he's going to have to make and what he can't make. And it's going to be the real fucking maelstrom.
Yep. I also love the writing here. So in season 1, apparently he was no problem. Okay, again, that rings true, because in season 1, he didn't really have much of an influence on anything, I imagine. Like, he was keeping his head down, he was doing the job, and then he got a lot of confident boost and credit for doing well, as he saved the entire season, as it was written like garbage. But then they say, but in season 2, something shifted, and he became really impossible for women to work with, which is always a big problem. So women specifically. And they go on to say as well that he didn't do anything sexual, he didn't touch anyone or anything like that. He would just try to overrule her and try to get changes made last minute across the board without her knowledge on the script. This is one of the female showrunners.
Well, it's generally what you should do in most cases when you're working on a team is you should be like, everyone should be on board. But he should be like, stringently, talking to them and working with them to get that done the right way. But going around behind people to do it, I'd like to see proof of that.
Well, the thing is, I don't even would mind if he did, because the showrunner has to sign off on every minuscule detail, blah, 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 yeah. Female writers and directors were suddenly completely ignored on set, unable to do their jobs. Every department head was complaining, he started making comments. It wasn't a sexual thing, he wasn't grabbing anyone or being lewd, but it was disrespectful and toxic all the same. Bear you in mind, this is written from the perspective of one of the progs trying to ruin the show. Because we also know that a bunch of the people on the show were loudly and actively disparaging the original work and basically calling it shit. So what I read here is that after season 1, Cavill basically realized who the people were who didn't give a shit, and he did his level best to circumvent them and make the show better. I don't even care at that point if that's disrespectful. Like, you don't disrespect my position as a showrunner. Yeah, because you're shit. Fucking Chad, move.
Honestly, I would just leave the project at that point. What a nightmare. Well, he did. Yeah, because there's no way you can salvage it. Because, again, they still have the authority, which is the problem. And that's going to be the issue going forward with the Warhammer show, too. Is because Henry actually doesn't have that much authority or say on what's going to be done. Because GW is going to be able to make the final calls because it's their IP. So that means all the post-wokeism, all the Urda stuff, all this modernity bullshit that has been ruining Warhammer, Like, I don't know how much he can
Well,
actually beat that back. And when in reality
depends on
can't.
how strident he is. Because here's the thing. If we take this at face value, right, and we look at some of the stuff around Cavill, like he's always defended the fans, he's always been very strident about the IPs he likes. Maybe he has finally got like enough confidence and feels he has enough pull in the setting to just have his will be done. Because it sounds like that's what he was doing. Like female showrunner was like, "You can't just rewrite that scene."
Yeah, but in the end, he
Okay.
lost because he had to leave the project anyways.
Well, I don't know. See, here's the thing. He saved season 1. Season 2 was much improved whilst he was doing this shit. We don't know what season 3 looks like yet. And then eventually he left. Like, he quit. Like, you could certainly chalk that up to a loss, as in he didn't manage to change the entire thing, but he was certainly a positive influence.
No, he tried. He tried his hardest, but in the end, it couldn't be salvaged. And that's what I think is going to happen again.
We have the opportunity to give him that power. Essentially, we need to put him up on such a tall pedestal that he has the power to go like, no, you make this change or I quit. And have that be a threat so devastating that they would know the PR loss from that alone would sink them. That's essentially the position he would need to be in.
Because there is actually a case of this actually happening to back up Arch here, chat. If you're familiar with the Stargate TV show, the actor that played Daniel wanted more money because he was writing a lot of the scripts and helping, right? But the studio didn't want to pay him. And so they were going to cut him off the show. But because he was so well loved on the show and so well liked, his popularity, they decided to pay him and bring him back. So
yeah,
people need to be extremely loud. Because people weren't loud enough about The Witcher. Because it didn't in the end matter there. But maybe with Warhammer, maybe because, this channel's big and, you've got a big Warhammer following, maybe that'll have the signal boost effect that it needs to push it over the line this time. Maybe. But I don't know, like, GW is such a fucking cold-hearted piece of shit corporation. I could see them just giving him the boot once they're done with him after a season or two and then installing some goon. You know what I mean?
The thing is, Cavill is so roundly loved in the general geekosphere and in the alternative media sphere as well. Like, people who have nothing to do with 40K are loving the shit out of Cavill. Like, actually, let me find one here. Oh, there you go. Yep. Let me send you this tweet. You can pull that up from that Star Wars girl who said something I certainly wouldn't have the balls to say in regards to this.
A bunch of incompetent cunts with a K are mad their show is dead, so they're trying to place blame on Henry. That's all this is. I mean, that's probably true.
It's probably true, but I sure as hell wouldn't have the balls to post that on Twitter. Like, I'm still a beaten, scared little pup, okay? Afraid that old Twitter would come back. That's a spicy take. And a damn fine one, too, incidentally.
Barch, trying to be such a chicken. Come on.
I know. That is an excellent take right there. So going back to the original post, right? There's also the fact that they don't really have anything on him. So they say, he's deeply addicted to video games, to the point where it was like working with any other addict. He was distracted, he was late, he was obsessive, and a lot of people think that the misogyny came from gamer world. Video game bro language is not how you talk to coworkers. And all I can imagine when I read that is basically a Chad face going, bitch, those video game bros, dude bros, they're the reason you're making this show. They're the reason you have a job.
That's something the Halo TV show writers failed to fucking understand. The show wasn't for fucking rando tards that don't care about the setting. The show's for the fans, the people who've been there since the beginning. The people who actually supported you to get to this point. No one else. If other people want to watch it and like it and then they decide to try the video games, more the merrier, right? But don't fucking go out of your way to sabotage everything else to appeal to a mythical audience that doesn't fucking exist.
No, absolutely. Again, those gamer dude bros are the only reason you have a job. And they are the only audience you need to please. There's no other audience you need to please here. And it's like, okay, he's an obsessive gamer. Fan-fucking-tastic.
That's
Like,
good.
this is not a negative.
Honestly, I thought
It's a
his
character flaw.
See, this is actually alarming to me because Cavill, from what I know of when it comes to his gaming, he's actually fairly normy, like a pretty casual gamer, and they think he's like a fucking addicted gamer. Jesus Christ, these people haven't probably even touched a video game besides like Candy Crush.
Well, the thing is, okay, right. We got to define casual here, because
Casual
Pablo
scum.
Schreiber, the TV show, Pablo Schreiber was casual gamer. He couldn't even finish Halo. Like, Cavill claims to have beaten The Witcher like 3 times.
A casual
no
can
reason
beat
why he'd
Halo.
lie about it.
Halo's not that hard.
Yeah, but Pablo Schreiber couldn't finish it.
Yeah, Pablo Schreiber's a piece
That's
of
the point I'm
shit.
making.
And no, Pablo Schreiber doesn't even get the label of casual. Like no. He's worse. He gets to go lower on the totem pole. Fuck that guy. And his big nose too.
His schnauzer.
His schnauzer.
And Cavill, like, again, Cavill claims to have been a fan of Warhammer for absolute decades, and I see no reason to doubt him. Like, he's got an army, he paints, he plays, Custodes, granted, but again,
Ugh.
at least it's not Tau.
That's true. I just like how you're like, at least it's not Tau.
You gotta give him some shit for the choice of army there. Like, motherfucking Custodes, bro.
I know.
Really?
Like I've said in my own post, like I have no doubt that Cavill's probably the best bet we have, and honestly, if Cavill succeeds, it would be make him a goddamn legend. But I think he's going to be facing some serious opposition, and we should be aware of that. I'm afraid of the Amazon side of things, and I'm afraid of Games Workshop. Those two elements are what Cavill's going to have to overcome, and that's where he's getting his money. That's where he's getting access to the IP from. So he's really got to fucking tard wrangle these two fucking disgusting corporations into actually producing something digestible, you know.
Well,
and I'm worried that
that's
they're
the
going to
thing,
fuck
'cause
it
again,
up.
The post goes on, say he would rewrite scenes without even alerting the other actors in the scenes until it was time to shoot. He decided they didn't want any romantic scenes at all, no kissing, no shirtless scenes, etc. Based. You want a
Thank
complete
God.
control storyline, but really had no idea of the limitation of TV structure, budget, etc. And again, all this sounds to me is like he's like, okay, I'm gonna try and fucking save this bitch. And he put in the effort. He probably did the scripts, etc. And I doubt he was just like on set, like, listen, I rewrote this. Let's do it this way. He was probably like, hey, I did this thing. Can we do it like this? And people are like, what? But this isn't feminist. I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, that is good. Like, that's good that he does that. He's gonna have a lot more authority on this 40K show than he did before with The Witcher. So that's already a step in the right direction.
That is the hope.
But now he's going to have to contend with GW, because GW is going to want this to be about what? They're going to market it. They want to sell plastic. GW already said they don't give a fuck about their stories. They don't care about their setting. They don't care about their
They
fans.
sell plastic.
And so the focus is going to be probably on Primaris, if I had to be honest with you, because they want
And the
people to
thing is
buy
that-
latest models.
From the perspective of some Californian Hollywood chick who's doing this as a 9-to-5 job and is like, The Witcher, what's that? Italian or something? I can understand that Henry might come across as really annoying. Who's like, no. They wouldn't do this. They would do it like this. And I'm sure, as a woman, Kyle can, feel
What the
this
fuck?
deep in his bones as well, and his vagina.
No, this is actually important, though. This is important because what Arch is talking about is so true. There's a show that I really am trying to get Arch to watch called Stargate, and they brought on military personnel to teach the actors how to have, like, proper trigger control, how to clear rooms and stuff. So that way, when they did scenes like that, they actually did the stuff that they're supposed to. That's what a soldier does. Not like it's some, dumb action movie where the guy just waddles into the room and then gets ambushed because he didn't check his corners, That's lame, that's boring, that takes you out of the immersion, out of the world, out of the setting. It's important that the actors research the setting and the characters so they can get into them. Because often good shows are defined by good actors. Because good actors sometimes will know better than the showrunners will. A good actor will understand the character almost to a T. And they can be like, no, wait, I don't think my character would do that because of this and that. And they're like, oh yeah, I suppose you're right. Like, that's what you should listen to. That's the sign of a hallmark of a truly wonderful actor. And those should be cherished.
Yes. And I'm sure that if he was as passionate as it sounds like here, he would probably have been a pain to work with for some fucking Californian.
Of
Who's
course.
like, what's a sword? Is that like a spear but sharper?
The spear but sharper. That hurts me. But yes.
Good. It's supposed to fucking hurt you. But that's what we need. That's the thing. That is what we actually need. And problem two is, here's the thing, right? GW are fucking idiots. Just putting that out there. I'm putting up a sign as large and blinking as humanly possible. I want it writ large on the fucking sky, okay? GW are morons. Every single previous movie project they've had has turned out garbage. Ultramarines was it. Every time one of their writers has tried to help on a game, like Dark Tide was the recent one, like, we've got a story from a major Black Library writer. Was it good, Kyle?
No, it was
good?
shit.
Was it good, Kyle?
They don't know how to write for video games because
No, they don't.
Writers have to, like, they can't just take a writer because writers have to be experienced. There's a complete difference between visual storytelling or video game or interactive media than, writing a book, because those aren't the same things. They're different media. You have to write differently.
I'm gonna send you this so you can check and look at it. That's a shot from the Ultramarines movie.
Oh no, I don't need to look at that. I remember that.
You do.
It was such a bad
Very
movie.
bad.
I remember watching it with my dad.
Has been awful at every form of entertainment they've tried beyond their books. The books are the only good thing. They have proven again and again they can't write movies, they can't write fucking game scripts, so why the fuck should we think they can do good TV? GW needs to sit back, shut the fuck up,
Yes.
and let somebody who gives a shit run the show.
Very true. Like, that is, honestly, I don't understand why GW is like, hey, we want to write a video game. Well, how about we get a writer who writes for video game stories, but we, they work together with one of our writers so they can work as a team so that author can be like, oh, okay, so in this interactive media, we can use like visual scenes to do storytelling. Like by the scene of showing a dead guy by the door, we can indicate that, he didn't quite get there, blah, 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 blah. Like, because it's a different media, and it's not an easy thing to do. It's like, having a fucking sprite artist who makes excellent sprites be like, all right, make 3D models now. Like, that's not gonna go well. Oh, it's not gonna go well at all.
GW doesn't have any genuine competency, in this field. They don't. GW just needs to provide the IP and shut the fuck up. That's it. And you're also right. They want to focus on something boring and dumb like the primaries, but they shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
Like I'm gonna do a movie on the movie. 2 videos on this, probably, like top roles Cavill could and should play, and also like why they should do certain things. Because frankly, don't do the Space Marines if you can avoid it. Don't do the effing Space Marines. Or if you're gonna do the effing Space Marines, do a very short story of the Space Marines. Because the Space Marines aren't human, and if you try to humanize them, you're gonna fuck up 40k. Simple as. Like, if you're gonna do Space Marines, do what Astartes did. A brief, awesome, kick-ass action sequence that blows people away, and then transition over to something more mundane.
Yep, because it's not possible to empathize with a Space Marine due to the fact that they aren't human, they don't have the same emotions that you and I have. They're not the same, and that needs to be preserved, because if we try to humanize them, well, we've just ruined what made a Space Marine a Space Marine. A Space Marine should be amazing. It should be something that comes on screen, when you got like regular guardsman characters, and then all of a sudden the Space Marine shows up. It's like, holy shit, it's like a fucking angel on the battlefield, Like, it's completely redefines the spectrum, and it makes the humans feel so small, By comparison, that could be such a stark contrast to do that.
Yes. And we also know that GW are incompetent at running movie studios. Because remember, we were supposed to get an Inquisitor Eisenhorn TV show.
Yep.
That was announced years ago. We haven't heard a damn word about it.
Hold on.
Probably dead.
What if this is in relation to that?
No, because they're calling this new project.
Oh, new project.
Like, okay, if you bring in Cavill as an executive producer now on something that's been in the work for like 2 or 3 years, that's a problem, bro.
I imagine whatever that is probably either A, in development hell, or B, got shelved.
Like, GW needs to just get out of the way and let something good happen. Because it should be focused around Guardsmen. Because Guardsmen you can humanize. You can also do an Inquisitor, like Eisenhorn is a perfect one, but here's the issue. I don't want Dan Abnett involved in this. I love Dan Abnett. He's a fantastic writer. I got nothing against him, but he is the death of anything that is not book.
Yeah.
Every game story he has written has been mediocre at best. Okay? What wasn't he? I think he was maybe the one who made the Ultramarines writing thing too, or it could be something else. I'm not sure.
You mean
about
Space
that.
Marine?
But
Or the Ultramarine
he
show?
does not have the tool set required to make a TV series out of this, in my opinion.
Yeah, bring him in as you can bring him in, but as an advisor, like not as the lead writer though. That'd be a mistake.
Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, no, Dan Abnett, Ultramarines 40,000. A screenplay was written by Black Library author Dan Abnett.
That's
I
all.
fucking knew it. I fucking knew it.
He also did
Again,
Dark Tide, didn't he? And
I
Dark
love the
Tide's
dude.
terrible.
Yeah, no, but this is the guy that everybody gets to do their 40K story for anything. And he's a fantastic author, but he can't do this. I think there's ample evidence to suggest that.
Yeah, his work on video games has been less than stellar.
What you should do instead? You should actually go. I mean, I'd love to see some of the Imperial armor shit, a story from the perspective of an Imperial guardsman, and spice in a little bit of Space Marines, sure, but preferably do not do the new lore. Do the old lore, the good lore. You could do the Horus Heresy, but that's going to be too much of a bet for a first run TV show, I think.
Yeah, you'll need to build up some traction before you tackle that.
Yep. Hell's Reach 2 says chat. I don't think so. That would require too big of a budget because that's in a hive city, like. And plus, Grimaldus is a chaplain. Like he's kind of hidden behind his helmet. You want to do something that can show off Cavill. You want to do something like, in my opinion, the best option would be Cyphers Kane, frankly, because you've got a nice down to earth story. It won't require a ridiculous amount of special effects or anything like that. And you can do it centralized mostly around the gods, and it's an incredibly humanizing story of the Inquisitor who just wants to fucking live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could work. If you ever got a bigger budget, or had a bigger budget, a Rogue Trader theme story would be pretty awesome, because it could explore the setting in the universe.
Mm-hmm. Now, Cyphers Kane would be the best goddamn idea. And the thing is, too, I want to say, too, do not bring on the GW people as experts. I know this sounds fucking retarded, but GW doesn't care about their setting anymore. In the last video I did on this, I basically showed you like a dozen examples of GW fucking up basic quality control, like the 8th Legion Ultramarines, the fucking Primaris helmet on the first founding, the cancelling of the Liber Chaotica, painting Ultramarines as Alpha Legionnaires, etc., 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 etc. They don't care. You've got to bring in outside talent here. Frankly, I'd prefer it if Cavill just did the sourcing himself. And I'm like, okay, this is a story I want to tell. I'm going to research the lore personally. I would trust him over the GW dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, genuinely. 40K is an infested institution right now, and it must be treated as such. And Amazon is even more so, because there's the thing too, right? The reason why we've got to try and put Cavill up on a bit of a pedestal here, and the thing is too, I want to say, we know very little about Cavill's personal opinions. To be fair, you know, because he's been playing this very smartly, in my opinion. He's been keeping it very neutral, always very pro-fan, but he tries to never say anything that anyone can latch on to. The spiciest take he's ever had, which is also the one that the left has been trying to use against him, was when he was asked about Me Too, and he said, like, well, obviously harassing women is bad. Like, derp. But he was also like, that he was afraid that Me Too would go too far, because it would end up in a situation where men no longer dare try to chase women anymore, because they're afraid of being called rapists. And guess what? That's exactly where we are now. And that is probably the spiciest take he's had.
Mm-hmm. But it's accurate.
So, it is. Like, I'm 90% sure he's our guy. And frankly, even if he's a flagrant progressive, if he makes a good 40K TV show, I'm just going to close my eyes and ears and pretend that never happened, okay? I'm just going to accept the TV show as if it came out of the fucking ether.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing
But-
is, if wokeist people make good content and it's genuinely well written, or people that lean left or disagree with us, I don't really care as long as the content's good. But when it has the underlying messages of like, you need to, touch children, it's like, I don't know. No,
Yes.
we're not doing that. Like, there's a line in the sand, and we drew that line. You can't cross that one, or I'm not for it.
Absolutely. But I doubt it. Like, he's always struck me as a very wholesome kind of character. I would feel fairly comfortable to classify him as the our guy kind of type. But this also means that he needs to be very careful in his public associations, okay? Because he's already, like we see here from the tweet, right? People are already trying to throw him under the bus. Actually, let me send you this one too. This one's funny. It's a funny picture, Kyle. You should look at the funny picture. But people are already trying to throw him under the bus. Like, the progressives are already looking for angles to attack him on, which is very interesting to me. It's like, because something inherent to this guy seems to piss off a very specific bunch of people. And it's probably, in large parts, because he wants to make the setting. And the progs hate that. Because to them, it is all a tool to progress their own agenda. That is the ultimate goal at the end of the day.
Yes.
And he doesn't seem interested.
And that's actually a good thing, because the thing is, he's not thinking about these crappy bullshit fucking politics things that we have to deal with. He's actually focused on the escapism. He's not inserting, politics into the setting. He's simply just respecting the setting. That's all anybody ever wanted that cares about any of the settings he's touched so far.
Also, I fucking love this meme because I can so see this being true. Like, you've got the clueless showrunner, the female. All he does is play video games. Demand changed their girl boss script. He won't even do shirtless love scenes anymore. And meantime, Cavill is like, so, the Horus Heresy thing. Like,
Horse heresy. Let us not talk about what they did to the
That is so how
story
I
for
can
that.
imagine this conversation go. Like, you've got the screeching director going like, yeah, but this is very empowering. He's like, that's great. But see, then Horus did this.
Just moves on. He's like hyper
It's
autistic.
like, yeah, but we're talking about the setting here now. So if you could just,
If you could shut the fuck up. I love it. Oh my god. See, that's great. See, look, March. There is some actors out there that are still, respectable. Look at that. It's a strange thing, but lo and behold.
There's like two of them. There's like Carl Urban and this guy.
That's better than zero.
But what this also means is he needs to be very careful about who he is seen with right now, because he needs to establish himself fully. He needs to reach that position where him threatening to leave basically means that he gets his will whenever he wants. That's the only way he can really put through the vision that he wants. And that also means he can't give anyone an excuse, which means that like, I've seen chat going like, oh, he should watch Vrax, he should consult that, or he should bring on Luton or Arch or anything like that. No. Like, even Luton is controversial, okay? I talked to the guy. He has some opinions.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
that would be an enormous fucking flag. That would the left would look at that like a fucking bat signal.
Just focus on the setting. Like, focus on the setting. Don't, like, he's done his own research. He cares about the setting. He doesn't really need to bring anyone on. He should just do it himself.
Yes.
He's got this. He's got this in the bag.
That's exactly it. Like, he needs to be very careful about his associations, which right now, in this current climate, means no associations. Like, fuck. Even Valorak, okay, who tries to put on as much of a neutral face as possible, shut down his Discord because of transphobia. There is no winning here. This man needs to be an island until he can establish himself fully. After which, then, he can potentially make moves to bringing advisors, to what he could do. If we say Season 1's great, right? He's fully established. He can basically threaten to walk out the door and Amazon will bend the knee. Then he could say, right, now I want to try and bring the entire fandom together. So I'm going to bring in people from a huge different amount of opinions, Then he could bring in my ass and somebody radically opposed to me, someone on the complete opposite side of the 40K political spectrum, right? And go, here you go. Here I've got two people. Their divide is huge, but they love 40K. Let's see if they can work together.
We can make that into a TV show.
You fucking could.
Oh my god.
But that is absolutely the thing. Like, he needs to be an island now until he's fully established, because he's built up this very golden image for a very long time, and he needs to keep it up for a little while longer. Like, this is the thing too, right? Because I don't know what Cavill's psyche is like. I know my own, and I know that I would have benefited enormously from keeping my fucking mouth shut and just doing like a lore channel for the years previously. But I couldn't do that because I see what's fucking happening in the world and I hate it, and I have too much of an ego to shut up about it. Like, I want to try and do something, okay?
That's right. You admit your little ego. Let's hold that over him for later, chat. Remember. Chat will remember this. Yes, good.
Mm-hmm.
Just like,
absolutely. But that's the thing. It's very important that he remains stand aside. And then in the future, when he's got that position, then maybe. Like, hell, it wouldn't even be the worst idea to go like, okay, bring together all kinds of creators and try and unify them in basically gay love relationship to Cavill. There you go. might work. Not impossible.
Wow.
But that is further down the line. Like, he needs to do this himself, and I think he needs to do the research himself, and I think he needs to do pretty much all the work himself. He's going to have a very busy time ahead of him, but if he pulls it off, I mean, he's the fucking savior of 40K in my eyes, if he pulls this off.
It would be nice, but I would definitely say this, fellas, don't get your hopes up.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's better to be like cautiously optimistic, because we have no idea. We're very much in the early stages. This could all go to hell in a handbasket very quickly and never see the light of day. This is just an announcement that they're starting on it. So God only knows how long that's going to be.
Let me address that one too, because I do know a little bit about what's going on inside of Amazon. There is no current move inside of Amazon whatsoever. Zero zip, nilch, null, nothing. Even hinting at this purchase. All right? There seems to be, like, there's no planning, there's no committees, there's no money set aside, there's no contracts being drawn up. There seems to be absolutely no movement. Meaning that, in all due likelihood, the announcement that came out before Games Workshop released their announcement might have been a testing the water thing. Like, drop it out there, be like, okay, how do people feel about this? And then GW's announcement came out the next day, and it was the most boilerplate announcement I think I've ever seen. With, like, descriptions of Amazon taken from fucking Google. Like, this is Amazon. Google, please tell me what Amazon is.
Oh, Games Workshop.
And then Cavill, too, put out an announcement. But remember, he also put out an announcement about returning as Superman as well. So I'm thinking maybe he's just kind of like throwing that out there, too, and being like, hey, look at the public support. So, before we all get too giddy, this might not turn into anything at all. But I hope it does.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if it did. But if I were to give you my honest assessment, I don't see this ending well. Until I see proof otherwise, because if I had dared to hope that anything will ever turn out right, it'll fucking crumble right in front of me again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad state of affairs. When are we gonna ever get a good TV show again? I think the answer is never.
There's also a lot of rumors about Cavill's involvement too. Saw that in chat there. Some people are suggesting that he secured the rights first and then went to Amazon. I don't believe it. As much as GW's current writing is, etc., and how as much as they are disregarding their setting, after the enormous COVID bump, 40K as a license is worth millions, tens of millions. Cavill undoubtedly has got some spending money, but I doubt it.
Oh, you mean
that'd be a lot of cash to put on the table.
He didn't buy the license. No, that's ridiculous. I don't think so. Unless we see proof of that, then maybe there's hope for humanity. But I would not be excited about that. I think
it would be one fuck of a Chad move if he walked in there, slammed a wad of cash on the table, and was like, "Give it to me now," and then it's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make this work no matter what." That would be a story of Disney legend, you know, good old magic Disney.
I doubt it. That I doubt even more. Maybe I'm just the doubter here, but I don't believe anything. It's all gonna come crumbling down. Try not to get your hopes up too much, Blondie. There's no need to be sad about it later. Actually, no, you're gonna be sad about it. Gotta make money, right? Gotta make money. We're all trapped here. Help.
It could also be GW trying to push this as much as possible as well, because they want to get bought out by Amazon. Like we know GW is desperate to get bought out by somebody, and they know Amazon's probably got a large enough bank account to do so. Whilst at the same time, it's like, would Amazon put down the money for that now? Like after the enormous flop that was the Rings of Power, and what seems to be a fair bit of drama perhaps going on with the Tolkien estate too. Now, this has been some mumblings and rumblings for a while now, but we were talking about this when the show was airing. Like, hey, do they have the rights for this? Like, surely not. Like, this isn't in what they bought. And again, very, very unofficial, very rumor level-y shit, but it sounds like the estate is not at all happy and feel like Amazon has kind of screwed them here. Mm-hmm. There's even some suggestions that maybe they're withholding money or rights and merchandising rights and all kinds of shit. Like, it would be weird for Amazon right now to jump balls deep into another major monetary acquisition.
It would be, but at the same time, yeah, that wouldn't be a very good look to, I think, shareholders. It'd be like you're already abandoning the other one. Yeah, honestly, what interests me though is that the Tolkien estate seems very like they were misled here. And as we find out more, we'll have to wait and see till we get the full picture, of course. So obviously skepticism still, but I would like to see, and what I hope we see is that the Tolkien estate is actually still pretty based and is like, no, this was all done, and we were basically lied to, and like there could be some actual things done to basically prevent this, and the Tolkien estate's going to hold true to trying to maintain the, you know, the nature of what Tolkien's work was.
Yes, we'll see about that. Also in chat there, Rambam3000 Arch, slamming a wad of cash down on the table and saying, "Give it to me now," is what you say to a hooker. Yes.
Games Workshop is basically a glorified hooker. Like, they don't care about their setting, they don't care about you, they're just a fucking whore. They literally, their policy is like, come into our store, as soon as they come into the store, give us their money, get them the fuck out. Like, they don't want you in their stores. They actually want you to leave as quickly as possible. If you're not going to buy stuff, they don't want to talk to you. Like, they're just a whore. Yeah.
Treating GW as just a whore is, if anything, a bit too kind of a treatment, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, you should be much crueler to them. Like, fuck, like, imagine paying for GW stuff. Like, that's kind of cringe. Like, I wouldn't even want to go to the store.
They absolutely deserve as worse, if not worse. All right, but yep, no, we've kind of gotten around on the Cavill thing. I think the smear makes him look like a fucking Chad and makes me even more optimistic about what's going on, in my honest opinion.
When have those leftoids ever been able to smear anything, okay?
Well, I mean, they made quite a career on that for quite some time.
They try.
But I've got hope. I'm actually mildly optimistic, and I pray to God that this turns out well. All right, let me go through some of the super chats there, because we've gotten quite a lot now. They've been streaming in. Thank you very much, chat. Very generous. Before we move on to the monetization of D&D, because you thought that maybe buying a physical book and models and, you know, writing the entire adventure yourself might somehow make you immune to microtransactions, but that was very stupid of you.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck D&D. Why pay for that? Like, seriously, like, why pay for this anymore? There's
Mark
so much
James says, Ecto Life just might make the deathcore of Krieg a reality. I did see the breeding farm, yes, the world's first baby farm, which is
Ugh.
one glorious step towards making women obsolete.
That
I
breeding
don't
farm
really see a problem with that.
That was I have a hard time looking at that stuff and not seeing that as completely dystopian. I'm like, wow, if there wasn't already a problem with humans procreating, we're only compounding the issue further by literally driving male and female like apart. Like there are species that develop like horrific things in order to try to breed with each other.
You can show that to chat in case they're unaware. But yeah, no, there is plans for like an artificial womb farm where people can order like custom-made babies and shit. It's something. It's definitely something. But hey, again, any step towards making women obsolete is a good one in my book, of course.
Mm-hmm. It's a step in the right direction.
Todd nods, agreeing. Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
Good. At least I have one person to drag under the bus with me.
No, that was a joke. That was more like a fucking like, yeah, sure, like.
But Kyle, what about your dream of becoming a top-ranked female athlete?
Top-ranked female? Oh yeah, just transition so you can beat the crap out of women.
Now, do bear in mind, like, this entire thing is just like a planned thing for now. They haven't actually built this fucking monstrosity yet, but the very idea that somebody's like, yeah, this is a great idea, should be a little bit fucking weird. Just a bit. Just a bit. I also like to choose the baby's level of intelligence, height, hair color, eye color, physical strength, and even skin tone. So I imagine, like, a blonde black dude with 500 IQ, 2 meters tall, purple eyes, and the strength of an elephant. It's like, that would be a wonderful sheet to deliver to them. Like, yes, this person. And I'd like 500 of them, please. Also, could you program in obedience? Hold on, why? Purpose, world domination. Oh, maybe this is how we get the Space Marines. That'd be funny.
Would be.
Dark One Tree says, how do they not understand how stupid that is? In reference to, I'm presuming D&D. Well, they figure that you, the consumer, is dumber than they are. And considering the current state of downloadable content, I'd say they are often correct. Tragic though that may be.
It would be tragic. Gosh darn it. Let's move on past the dystopian artificial womb facility. Looks gross and creepy. And kind of reminds me of Clone Wars a little bit, you know, with that scene where they're growing like little baby soldiers. So it's like, yeah, we're just going to do this. It's a bit unethical details.
Shunkatsu says, Kibbs has a coom jar with a pony in it. He does have a drawing of that. That's correct.
What? A drawing of what?
You do.
What are you talking
Kibbs
about?
has a coom jar with a pony in it.
Firstly, I don't. Secondly, that was our miniature guy. Baphios printed out a miniature of Marith and then put it into a jar and then sent me a picture of it. And the jar says, like, Kopik or whatever, which translate from Polish to, like, pony or horsey sauce or something. I'm like, that's fucking cursed.
Yeah, but you do have it, Kyle.
I don't have it.
You do.
I have a picture.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You do have it. You do.
I'm not gonna.
You do.
I'm not gonna ever own that. I don't want that anywhere near me. It's bad juju.
Mashev Svek says, praise be Lord Arch and Breedable Kibbs. I hope Henry Cavill can lead this Warhammer TV show to greatness. I look forward to Arch trying to read my name again. I did. It was correct. Mashev Svek. It's an S with a weird thing over it. I don't like it. Tonen, she says, one has not had an alcoholic experience before drinking out of a 1-liter Karhun can. I don't like alcohol, though. It makes my tingles.
Alcohol's disgusting.
It is. It's correct.
Just like, no.
Convincing Reality says, are you aware that with D&D 5e, they're apparently looking to do away with the Creative Commons license? Is the issue third parties have been making products that out of complete official ones? Well, they want to do that because they want monopoly now, and they think they can somehow enforce it. Spoiler alert, they can't.
Yep.
But it's the same reason why GW has been going after just 3D animators, and they were for a while going after 3D printers until they took one to court and basically got bitch slapped because they didn't own half of the things they claimed to own, like pauldrons.
Yep. Fucking pauldrons. Like, we own the word pauldron. It's like, you can go suck a fat one, but get the fuck out. Oh my god. GW has the gall to do some fucking serious bullshit. They're such a soulless corp.
Magnus Lord says, "Hey Arch, thanks for the great lore videos. Looking forward to getting my limited edition of the Carrion Throne, Volume 1 of the Horusian War by mail." Oh, good. I've actually got all of the big source books, the Horus Heresy source books, the fat ones in the leather bindings. They're beautiful. They're so cool because they're massive. And I was planning on doing a series on that, and maybe I'll still do, but it's dead now. I'm sad.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
The Dazzly Dutchman says, "For the Merith Transition Surgery Fund, you are stunning and brave. You inspire us all. Shame on all those who dead name you with kibs." Correct. It is Kyle or Merith, and that's all.
Wow.
There's no other naming convention that fits.
Rude. Rude.
And Mark James says, "Google has been pressing the censorship button a lot more recently, perhaps in response to Twitter. Got a 2S violation for a comment somewhere." Well, I still don't know how the Twitter thing will shake out. I actually got I got a weird response email from YouTube because I sent in a copyright dispute immediately on the takedown thing, and they're like, "Hey, we're not sure you have a valid reason to send in an objection to this." Like, bitch, I used the screenshots from Steam.
Oh,
I had
you're
every
doing the,
valid reason.
You're doing the fair use thing. Yeah, I won both fair use things against Disney about playing the Revenge of the Sith game. Yeah, basically you just have to send them in the fair use dispute thing. Make sure you don't.
No.
Oh, you're not.
Because that's the thing. That was a claim. This is a takedown, and I've sent in a counter takedown notice.
Yeah, and
which means that the company then has 10 days to be like, "Yeah, we're going to sue you," or "Shut the fuck up." But then YouTube sent me an email that say they're not sure I'm allowed to send in the counter notice. I've never seen this before.
What? I don't know. I've never had that happen. To be fair, I've never had a strike before, so I don't really know what that looks like beyond your picture you sent me.
Yeah, this one's new to me, but I'm going to give Off-World Industries a while to respond before I do anything.
Yes.
But yeah, they can get fucked. Like, I am happy to take this to court.
Speaking of, there's new people here. So guys, if you could help out Arch, he got a strike. I linked a link there on the Twitter. If you could, please go ahead and click that. And if you haven't created Twitter, consider joining, giving it a retweet, trying to signal boost that, because we need to get that strike lifted off of Arch's channel. Another thing you could do to help, if you're not so keen on doing that, is go to Off-World Industries website, get a hold of them, contact them via the contact page down at the bottom of the website, and let them know that they've made a grave mistake. They've accidentally striked Arch's channel for merely making a video talking about the upcoming game, using literal footage that's already public and has been used by many channels out there and many other news organizations. This has to be a mistake. So yeah, if you're banned from Twitter or whatever, still going and you can't make a new account, just do the other way. Like, contact them via the web page. I've already submitted a contact there. I'm probably going to try to poke around LinkedIn, see if we can't get a hold of the CEO or something, because this has to be an issue, like a genuine oversight. Must have been like a bot or something, or a misclick. I don't know. Fix it.
Yes.
Fix
So
it, chat.
the quick lowdown. I'll put you put the tweet in there. It'll be in chat. I got a copyright takedown for the Starship Troopers extermination video I did, using screenshots and video from their Steam page. So if you do take a second to go and like that, retweet it, tweet it Off-World Industries to make them aware of it, that would be greatly appreciated, because I'm assuming this is either a bot or a retarded intern, because it was a manual copyright takedown sent to YouTube as well. So that's the thing.
Yes, it must have been a mistake. Like, because otherwise they would have submitted this to like countless channels that have covered this game that are interested and excited about it. And in no way does this content harm it, and it's also transformative, I'd like to point out too. So under fair use, it's definitely safe. So it's
Well, no,
bullshit.
absolutely. Like there is no question that this is safe, which is why if they don't take it up, I sent the counter notification and they've got 10 days to sue me. And if they want to do that, oh my god, I'll be more than happy to.
Oh my god, if they do that, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If they fucking for some reason try to dick you over on this, like, fuck, I ain't fucking no. We're not covering that game. Like, fuck them, and fuck all their games.
Fuck, I'll countersue them. Like that's blatant abuse of copyright law.
No. I mean, like, blacklisting their content. Gross.
Well,
Anyone
yeah,
that does that's gross. They need to burn. That kind of behavior is not okay.
That is a blatant abuse of the copyright system and flagrantly
Yes.
illegal. But I don't think that's what's happening. I'm sure it's a mistake, which is why
Yes.
it's very lovely of you all if you could bring some attention to it.
Yeah. Well,
But right now, back to the topic at hand. So
you want me to go back?
let's have a look
there?
at the D&D thing, shall we?
Okay, you archived that link. Good, Barch. I don't have to go to Kotaku. Wait, you already made me do it once. Oh, no, good. You archived it. What? It's the same link. Why did you do that? Why did you send me
'Cause
twice?
you're a bit of a tard,
You
and
could have
don't
said
know
I
if
could
you
just go back there.
Hold it up again.
You monkey. I left it open. Just say go back to the previous page. Here, I'm like, oh, new one? No, it's the same old one.
So this happened from, and bear in mind here, before we all go crazy, this happened in an investor meeting right here for the Wizards of the Coast. So this is basically where the grubbiest of grubby little cocksuckers go to be grubby with one another. That's what investor meetings are. It's imagine that scene from Harry Potter when they go into the Goblin Bank and all the
Oh,
little goblins
no.
are rubbing their hands at each other. It's that.
I love that scene. They're just like, greedy, like, yes, we keep all the money and economy going. Yeah.
That's basically that is. So it's not weird that they'd be throwing out the grubbiest shit they can in this meeting. But he said, D&D is under monetized compared to video games and expressed a desire for the type of recurrent spending you see in digital games.
What the fuck? Barch.
He also goes on to talk about like how they want to see this. Because bear in mind too, so this came from Pathfinder, so not D&D, but you know it's the same general company and the same general branch of business, right? Pathfinder had a thing recently.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Peggy.
That came sudden. Where they had a strike going on at their company, and one of the employees were like, "Okay, we're getting underpaid. We can't live in the center of a major American city." Which is like, "Bitch, just don't." But they needed more pay, and they were like, "Yeah, but our company isn't profitable. Like the Pathfinder books we make lose money because they cost more to make than they earn back, and they're basically just relying on investors and underpaying their staff to have any chance to stay awake." So the entire like D&D system is not actually profitable. And they refuse to do the logical things like maybe printing black and white or hiring less diversity hires or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is the inevitable next move then to basically go, "Oh yeah, I know we've got earning problems, but trust me, we've got a lot of untapped monetization potential, you see."
I mean, they could just try, A, doing that, and B, maybe developing games or making... Because they could honestly break into the video game market, but they, for whatever reason, they really don't try to. And they used to, with the, what was it, Planescape Torment was based off their stuff, wasn't it? And Icewind Dale and Baldur's Gate, if I remember right. Why don't they do that? Video games have a huge money potential. Considering how big the industry is growing, it is like the industry you want to get into as far as entertainment.
Well, they've kind of tried already. I know you're an ignoramus, Kyle, but I, who's intelligent, do my research. Here, the D&D Beyond, they've already set up a fucking subscription service to get access to some of their rules in a digital format.
That's
Like,
not
they're
what I'm
already
talking about at
trying to
all.
do this.
Read! I'm talking about video games. Who cares about their dumbass rule books?
Yeah, but they do have like video games though. Like they do have like official software trying to do this shit. It's just that it's terrible.
No, maybe that. Well, see, here's the thing. If it's terrible, then well, that's kind of their problem.
And they're also trying to put in video games too. Like the upcoming Baldur's Gate is using the recent D&D rule set.
Ooh, cringe.
You know, they absolutely are. It's not that they aren't, Carl. It's just that they're stupid.
so
Shit at it.
So then what I failed to understand here is that they're just remarkably incompetent, and they're going to fail as a corporation, and good riddance.
Yes.
If you can't make good content, that's their fault.
Isn't even their digital stuff. It is that they feel that they don't have the ability to monetize the physical product. Because he mentioned specifically that you can buy a core rule book and an adventure book, and you can have fun forever. You can have a game master who makes up infinite adventures. And he's like, and that's terrible for us.
That's funny.
Which I do like. It's kind of beautiful. It's like, yeah, but we can't monetize your imagination. So how can we monetize game masters using our rule set? Like,
all right, we need you to participate in a session. All right, that session is going to cost you $25, but we came up with everything. Yeah, but you used our rules to do it, so we're charging you for using them.
mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
And they bring up the subject of microtransactions, because what he's trying to pitch here is essentially the idea that there is some way to add in microtransactions to Dungeons and Dragons. Now, the way you could do this, like immediately, right, off the top of my head, you could do this in a clever way, and you could do this in a not clever way. If you were intelligent, you might set up customization options. You might do something like what Hero Forge is doing, right? Where you go, okay, you want to make a custom miniature? We can help you with that. We can send you a STI file. We can set up 3D printing systems, etc. We can give you all kinds of backup on the back end, and we'll charge you for like pieces. So if you want this helmet, that'll be $1. If you want those gloves, that'll be another $1. And make it actual microtransactions. What they're going to do is just probably go like, oh yeah, we don't sell physical rulebooks anymore. You gotta download the PDF. Right. When you download the PDF, that automatically signs you up to a subscription service.
Oh no, I could see what they do instead. They have it as a launcher, and it has to be booted through the launcher that you subscribe to. And it connects to an online database. Oh no, it's like remember when Total War did that with their encyclopedia where it required it to be online in order to use? Fuck. That's awful.
And bear in mind, 40K has already kind of started to do this, where they're moving basically all of their rules over to PDF format, to the point where they're no longer either bothering checking their rule books anymore. Okay, so... Kyle.
Hey.
Be a good girl and find Maka's YouTube channel for me.
Maka is a dirty slut. There, I threw shade at him. Is that good? Maka's a bit of a baka. See, that rhymed. Maka. With a K? Maka with a...
Maka. The outer circle.
Oh my god, then why don't you say the outer circle?
Because I expected you to remember the poor lad. Fucking Christ.
Dude, I'm subscribed to him to help him out, but like you gotta remember Blondie. I can't remember names, you know that.
I apologize on Kibbs' behalf. He embarrasses me too.
We've established this for years now. It's like Kib can't remember names very well, and he's like, you remember that guy's name? I'm like, oh, that Maka guy. He's like, yeah, the Maka guy. You remember the other name for the other thing that he does? It's like, no. No. Motherfucker. All right, so I'm gonna link it to chat. Chat, you're fat.
So Maka here from the Outer Circle is a really good lad. Okay, he's Australian, which we shan't hold too heavily against him. You know, he was born there, but he couldn't help it.
Here's what it is.
Who does great like 40K content, criticizing GW and calling out a lot of their more retarded things. And he spotted something really fucking interesting in the Leagues of Wotan rulebook. I'll send Kib here I don't know, is this how Discord works? Can you, if I give you that, can you see that picture?
Yeah, I can open it up.
Yeah, there you go.
If you click the link, open the original. Yeah.
So funny story, I've got a few rules wrong on videos which I was sure I had right when I looked them back up. In my book, they were. Well, it turns out we might all have been right because I just conferred with subscribers in Germany and the US, and we all have different rules for Solarite gauntlets. So GW has released rules that vary from nation to nation because they couldn't be fucked to update it for all of them.
My god, don't give GW money. If you give GW money, you're part of the problem. You're the reason for this. Ah! They're enabling them. That's fucking horrible. That means there's different rules for different countries. Imagine if you try to play it online. Like, what do you mean? I'm not cheating. It's like, you piece of shit. Oh, that's so retarded.
Yes. And this is what happens when you allow the DLC shit to go out of hand, because they will abuse it. It's like it's that simple. Do not trust these companies. They are going to shit in your lunch. And then they're going to look at you. And if you hit them for it, they're going to be, oh, I promise never to do that again. But next meal, you're going to see that fucking ass inch closer to your fucking food, because it's what they do. Every time they will try the envelope, and if they get a smack, they'll cringe back in fear and they'll blame you for it, like, why did you do that? And then they'll try it again. It's just how this works. Like, look at the state of DLC today. Look at fucking Total War. At one time, we had Total War Kingdoms, which was 4 campaigns with like 24 unique factions in one expansion pack. Now, Total War Warhammer has over all 3 games, which, by the way, Total War Warhammer is not 1 game, it's 3 games. And it has like 50 pieces of DLC.
Yeah, and you know
that's what allowing this shit to happen does.
If you buy all 3 games and all the DLC that's out right now, it's still incomplete. It's still incomplete. It's still early access. You paid hundreds of dollars for an unfinished piece of shit game. They haven't even added the Chaos Dwarves. Like, just put that in perspective.
Like, this is what always happens. Because they're greedy little swine. That's why.
Yep. They got away with it once. They'll do it again. You give them an inch, they'll take a goddamn mile. And then they'll be like, why didn't you pay for it? And they'll have removed something too. Like the sync kill animations or some other feature will be moved out. Like, nah, we don't want to develop that. Takes time.
Yeah.
See, remember the unique siege mechanics that the Total War games have and the other games, but not in Total Warhammer? They don't have that. You don't have unique siege mechanics like, you know, burning settlements or civilians. All that's in the other Total Wars. Total Warhammer doesn't get that. You get fucked over for buying Total Warhammer because they don't like you.
Yep, absolutely. And going back to the article, that is exactly what's going to go here. Because people right now are like, that's retarded. That'll never work. Remember horse armor?
Oh, God. See, I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even learn about that till later. But it all adds up. The horse armor thing was the catalyst. They were going to try it at some point. It's only a matter of time. Because God knows, I looked up a lot of those developers in the past, and they were trying to figure out how to do live content support. Like with the internet, we can do it. It was only a matter of time. And we got there. We're there now. We live here now. Everything's it's in constant development. Like early access indie games, I don't really mind because I get they don't have the budget to do it. But when I see a AAA do an early access game, I'm like, all right, AAA company, look at me, Mr. Millions of Dollars. Shut the fuck up. If you can't afford to develop it, maybe you should downsize the project a little, or maybe you should, you know, actually release something tangible. But I have a feeling that a lot of this money ends up in the hands of fucking people that don't deserve it inside the studio because they pocket so much. So much money is probably wasted. It's saying.
So for anyone unaware, by the way,
yeah,
I'll send you the screenshot. This is Kib armor.
Kib armor? What the fuck?
Yep.
No, don't associate with this.
This is what started it fucking all. Because Bethesda was like, hey, I know we just sold you a full-priced video game that's kind of buggy and kind of underwhelming and kind of dumb in many ways, but could we have another $10, please? And we'll give you a Kib armor. And people laughed at it. Like, there were countless articles written about this. Like, even the YouTubers of the Stone Age were like, this is retarded and will never catch on. And here, look at where we are today. Which is so sad.
Oh my god, people paid for 3D models? What the fuck? Think about that. Modders do that for free. Why? Well, cool. I got a cosmetic for my horse that makes it look stupid. It makes it look stupid.
It's in a single-player game.
Jesus Christ. That looks dumb. Also, I think you can see through that piece of the armor there. Yeah, you can. That's weird. You can see right through it because they didn't model it. You can see the trees behind it. That's weird. They couldn't
Right,
even model it properly.
This fucking kib armor right here led to loot boxes, it led to predatory microtransactions, it led to full-priced games going free-to-play economy shit. This was all started it. Kib armor. Disgusting.
Wow. Rude. My armor would be much cooler and less faggoty than that.
D&D is going to do the same thing. Like, absolutely. Again, going back to the article, you can already see them beginning to whinge of it. That it's like, okay, a rulebook only costs about $100, okay? Like, that's nothing. What can we possibly do with $100? It's like, okay, every source material book we also sell is another 60. Like, we're paupers here. And it's like, if you can't make a living off this, downsize, reduce the quality of your product, or quit.
Yep.
Simple.
You gotta make something people want. Like, if you make something people want, people will support you. People will give you money to do it. Like, as an indie creator, I've seen it myself, and that's how I'm going. Give people what they want. And lo and behold, you'll get money for it. Because you're providing something they're interested in. These people aren't providing anything interesting. This art looks terrible, by the way.
I will say, though, I'll send you another article later, to white pill ourselves a little bit at the end.
Okay.
This is, of course, done by Hasbro. Okay? Hasbro's are the dudes who owns Wizards of the Coast. They recently did some super hard cringe shit with Magic the Gathering. That ridiculously expensive card set, Hasbro is looking at like a 30% stock fall because people are looking at this like, you are ruining Magic the Gathering. Like, you are annihilating it. People will never buy this shit. And they are pumping out so many card packs, so many overpowered and overpriced card packs, that people have just stopped purchasing them.
Nobody wants to buy them. Well, yeah, because why would you? They're just not worth getting because they're so expensive. Terrible.
That was the thing, too. One of the interesting parts of Magic the Gathering was that there was actually a card economy going on. Because Hasbro had hit that perfect balancing line where they actually made their cards have real-life value to the point where people were trading in them, like some kind of mini stocks almost, as a bit of a side hobby thing. And that was for the more uniquely interested, sure, but that was still really cool. And yet now they're pumping them out so frequently that they're not even worth the fucking cardboard they're printed on anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, they fuck themselves, though. They're outwardly toxic to their own fandom. Like, they burn their own bridges. Like, it's all coming... Like, it's... Everything that's happening to them is kind of deserved at this point. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah.
And I kind of hope that the Wizards of the Coast are going to do the exact same thing and eat the dick and then die.
Preferably, yes.
That would be the best end of all of this. So there is some hope that the companies will realize, especially now too, as I did a video on this, the woke ruins and the get woke, go broke might actually soon become a reality because the investor money is drying up, and that's what these companies are relying on to prop them up. It's the billions and the trillions from companies like BlackRock. And BlackRock lost, I think they lost like $1 trillion in value last year.
Good.
That investor cash is absolutely starting to dry up. It's not going to be so easy anymore. People might actually have to start making products that sell again.
That would be nice. But we'll have to survive until then.
Ah, there you go. Actually, it's slightly worse than that.
Oh.
There you go. BlackRock lost 1.7 trillion in 6 months.
Oh my god.
It's a lot of cash there out the window. Granted, this is a hedge fund that I think managed 14 million, so it's still a dent in the paint. But yeah.
Wait, they managed 14 million? You mean 14 trillion, right?
Trillion.
Okay. I mean, that's a significant dent, though. It's not, 10%, but it's actually in the single percent digits, which is good. It's a step.
It's still a chump, some chump change right there, no doubt about it.
They're gonna feel it. If we just keep stacking on that kind of bleed, they'll feel it real bad.
That is the hope. That is the hope. Right, so let's move on to some super chats again. Kiwi Pirate says, I demand an elf girl cutie, and I demand one now. I think I can deliver. Hold on, Kyle. Make meowing noises at the chat to distract them for a bit.
Chat, you smell, and you should probably take a shower. Specifically, no-name brand orange juice. Mostly because I've spoken to you now, and now I know what you sound like, and I can't believe you sound like a little girl.
It's the weirdest meow I've heard for a while, but...
He does sound like a little girl. Like, it's strange. See, I'm just throwing shade.
There you go, Kyle. I've delivered, technically not an elf, it's an angel from Startopia, and there's a rat in the background. There you go.
You furry aren't. Gross.
It's not furry. Fuck, it's feathery, if anything.
That rat in the background's furry.
Yeah, but she's dressed.
That's not okay. Burn it.
This is also a subtle indicator to go watch the Ixion stream and the review, of course, because it gives me 1 month.
Yeah.
Hey, at least I'm honest, okay?
Well, no, you should be, and that's good. We all want 1 month.
Go. I have given Kiwi Pirate what he wanted, sort of.
Now go watch
Markson of 117B says the channel Midnight's Edge, run by a fellow Night Lord, Nord, excuse me, says he's looking for a Warhammer lore guest. You've been recommended. You should do it. Midnight's Edge. God, I feel like I've heard this before. Help me.
I think it has. Chat normally rambles on about pointless. No, kidding.
Well, just tell the dude to email me. Or contact me on Twitter or whatever. I'm sure I'd be happy to.
I think I found it. Yep. Yeah. If people want to guest or collab, the best way to do it is to, reach out. It's kind of a strange thing, I know, but it helps when you try to talk to people.
Absolutely. I am often open to a dialogue. Occasionally.
Sometimes. When he's feeling like it. They're Norwegian. Disgusting.
Q Pirate said, I've heard a lot of talk from Russians on the ground that their military is really getting its act together on the Surovkin, solving supply issues, etc. He also says, not having winter uniforms, etc. seems to be just Ukrainian propaganda. Do you think it's possible they do a lot better over winter than people expect? Everything's possible. I mean, their main issues so far have been supply. If they can manage to actually fix that, it would go a long way to solve their current predicaments. We will see, however. They have dug themselves in fairly deep over the course of the conflict so far, so... Again, nothing is impossible, certainly. Marksman of 117B, apparently Henry's girlfriend is in charge of the production company doing the 40k for Amazon. Is this a Christmas gift for Cavill from his girlfriend, maybe? If so, he's found himself a good one and should probably tie her to a post somewhere immediately.
Well,
it's the only way to make sure they don't wander, Kyle. It's not inhumane, it's security.
A post, though.
Okay, you can make it a fancy post. The post can even be indoors if you want, but
if you want,
so long as it's a post.
But that's spoiling them.
It is. They're gonna grow a little bit soft if you give them
inside
that much,
heating will only make them weak.
It's true. It's true. Accurate. But that sounds like a very good girlfriend, to be sure. Gunfox says, howdy Arch and Kibbs, the Canadian furry. If, and that's a massive if, Amazon does make a Warhammer movie, miniseries, sadly it will likely be like Rangs of Power, Arch. Plus, force Kibbs to watch it and cover the tire landfill fire. It will be. Of course he is. Like, Carl was already willing to sit up at midnight to watch Rings of Power. I'm sure he'll watch this too.
Listen, you do what you have to for friends, even if they want to drag you through the mud a little bit. Or a lot of bit in the case of Rings of Power, because that was a lot.
I am Macrophale, says the second season of Rings of Power will feature female directors that worked on The Witcher and Wheel of Time, so you know it's going to be great. Oh, good. Yeah, no, that'll be a slam dunk, and no doubt about it. I'm sure with such amazing writing too, they'll have no problem to make that rake in the cash. Shout out Liang Yang says, what is bad about the Emperor's Glorious Golden Boys? They're balanced like a fat woman's ass on a pivot wheel. That's what. Like the custodians, like every single unit has 2+ armor save, like 3+ invulnerable. Every unit they have is basically unkillable with 2 wounds. And I think they've even got a chance to resist wounds too. They are the most infuriating thing to fight ever, because you will throw the universe at them, and they're not going to give a shit. They've even got a special ability where they will automatically claim any objective, no matter what. So if there's 1 Custodes on an objective, and you've got 55 rape-hungry Chaos cultists, that objective still goes to the Custodian. They're retarded. Plus, they're yet more power armor in a setting that is already fucking swimming in power armor. Like, you could make a new fancy alien species. You could have made the creepy fucking lizard things from Gaunt's Ghost. You could have made the, I want to say Quetzalcoatlus, because I have a picture of a big-titted anime girl in my head now.
Horny barge.
Tips chooses not to comment on that, good. But the fucking bug people, the fly people, were supposedly have a massive empire, the size of the Imperium, practically, and their name was something with Q, which I completely blank on right now. I give up. But yeah. you could do all kinds of cool shit. And no, it's more fucking power armor. More fucking power armor.
Because power armor is the shit that sells. And that's the problem. Like, they don't want to make the non-power armored factions interesting or sellable, and so they just sell you power armor. Because it's the easy win.
The League of Wotan, a quarrel, that's the one. Yes, thank you, chat. And the fucking League of Wotan was something somewhat different, but they were so fucking creatively bankrupt, it hurts. Like, they're not even just dwarves in space, they're just short humans. That's all, literally. And they're also broken level overpowered. Like, GW is just bad at their jobs. Simple as. They're bad at what they do. And they also do
that awful tactic that a lot of developers do, where they intentionally break a new faction so that the new faction will sell better than the old one, which is honestly, I think, one of the scummiest things I've ever seen. And not only just this, but it goes across gaming as a whole.
It's we call that the Riot Games tactic.
New hero, new character, new faction. It's busted as fuck. It's like, fuck you, developer. Like, you did that intentionally to make it so that people will feel pressured into buying it in order to stay optimal. Of course they do.
Like, 40K has been making tabletop rules now for, what, 30 years plus? They know a broken unit when they see it. That's why they made it that way.
Yep, it's intentionally.
Oh, I hate the League of Wotan so much. Wait here, okay, I'll yeah, sure. Because chat is probably looking at the space elf and getting a little bit too horny. Just fucking look at this thing. He looks like he's got gout. He looks like he's got an extended fucking testicle or something. He looks just fat and uninteresting and blubbery and...
it's boring too. It also follows the Tolkien trope aesthetic of that sort of Norse dwarf approach, and everybody does it. It's like nobody wants to be original.
I wish he was a Norse dwarf. Like, the only dwarven things on him, he's got some runes on his belt buckle, and he's got like a dog's head on his stupid, pointless head thingy.
That'll get snagged.
Like, that's not even a Norse design. It's just dumb.
They look stupid.
What about this guy? Like this guy here. If I didn't tell you that was a dwarf, would you even fucking know?
Nope. I mean, besides the iconography on the bolt gun, but that's about it. And even then, that just, they don't look at it. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Look at that gun a little closely. Is that... No. That looks like... Is that... That's the StarCraft 2 Marine gun. What the fuck?
It's a little bit of everything. It's got the handle of a bolt gun. It's got the magazine of a like a Stormbolter, and it's got the gun barrel of like a StarCraft thing.
Yeah, the shape, the silhouette of the gun. It is... Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. it looks uncanny in terms of its resemblance.
And actually, their other dudes look even more. Okay, this is not the perfect picture, but this is actually a better one. So I'll send you this one. Look at the dude in the bottom left in the power arm there. Does that not just look like a StarCraft Marine?
Let's take a sneak peek. The bottom left, you say?
Yep.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, they do look a little StarCraftian. The more you mention it.
They look very StarCraftian. Fucking pull up a picture of a StarCraft Marine and put it next to him. Like, it's
Google
disgusting.
Images. There we go. Open a picture. Cooperate with me. Oops. Oh boy, where did the picture go, Arch? There it is. No, no, it's not. Oh, too many tabs, too many windows. This is why we close them once in a blue moon.
He's failing me, chat. Yell at him, please.
There we go. I has it. Perfect. Yeah, yeah, they do look StarCraftian in their silhouette.
Or even something like this, right? Look at the pauldrons. They look fucking the same. They've even got the same ridge on the pauldrons. The fucking helmet opening piece looks the same. The front of the chest piece looks the same. You've got the same, like, little window there at the front. You just lack the 4 headlights on the StarCraft Marines.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so creatively bankrupt.
It is. I mean, I fucking hate the League of Wotan.
The worst part is, not too long ago, they made a bunker for the Space Marine that's like, is that the StarCraft Marine bunker?
Yes.
And then you look at it and it's like,
do that.
It's the same. It's the same. You just, like, originally GW fucked over Blizzard when they were making Warcraft or StarCraft, and they went their separate ways. And people were like, oh, StarCraft kind of ripped off them. But they were kind of justified because, GW's a piece of shit. And now GW has gone, it's like, we've gone so far into the timeline that GW is now copying Blizzard. Like, this is some weird poetic, like, justice here. Like, it's just ironic.
Yep. They've also, they've got the same oversized guns now, too, of course. I hate it. I fucking hate it. And even their vehicles are just ugly. I hate the League of Wotan. I really do. I wish they didn't exist.
Yeah, we know that the GW steals stuff. They have a history of doing that, chat. But it seemed like they were, they were definitely starting to break out of that mold for a while, and they were trying to make things unique. And then they've regressed back into their former primitive state. Like, that's too hard. That's too... Listen, this thing, I like the look of it, not because it looks cool, but because it looks stupid. It's such a dumb design. Oh my god. I am a sucker for terribly designed vehicles. Like, I love ugly looking vehicles, and this thing is hideous. I would never want to have that. Like, it's just derpy. It's got like a fucking like spaceship or whatever cockpit on it, and it's got like another like ball turret at the top, but he's in a turret and there's a camera on the gun, so why is he exposed when it probably has a remote camera, so you don't need to be exposed? Oh my god. Whatever.
It's because. Now, Glow in the Dark says Henry Calvin. He said Calvin, not Cavill. Calvin. Henry Calvin, more chatted than thought actor. He told the thirsty females no shirtless scenes and overridden their feminist story. Yes. I do like that.
He's like, my nips.
Stop staring at me. I'm like, no, Cavill, no. I'm like, I'm gonna rewrite this scene.
That's why they're mad, because they were horny for Cavill. It makes sense, chat. Jealous whammies.
No, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and I imagine Cavill has scorned an awful lot of women in his life.
Mm-hmm. He's like, be gone, whore. And like, just screeching.
Chloe says, I think a Russian plan in Ukraine now is obviously use winter. Make Ukraine's logistic like molasses and grind down Ukraine's they piecemeal hardware on front. Russia is specifically going after anti-air systems so they can start using air superiority. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the plan I've been putting forward as well. Russia wants a war of attrition right now because they can win it. Because they can't lose it. Simple as that, really. And Ukraine needs a drastic breakthrough, but Ukrainian command has proven too kitteny to do so properly. Too weak, too soft. They need to embrace more of the Deutsche mentality of embracing the Blitzkrieg. Yes.
Russians are really good at getting run over, both by the enemy that are invading them and by their own tanks.
And occasionally by themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Tonushi says, Kibbs, look up Inquisitor from 1996. It's official. Well, kinda. Convincing reality. The creator of Altar of Wrath has more or less confirmed that GW has shelved the project indefinitely. They are their own worst enemy. Was that the Inquisitor series?
I mean, it might have gotten shelved. Then we can confirm that it's not the.
That was the animated series. Altar of Wrath, upcoming online animated series.
Oh, that got shelved. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that was being done for Warhammer Plus, and they've shelved that too. All right, that also means that fan animators are out of a job now after being forced off YouTube too. So that's an entire project that's been flushed down the toilet.
Jesus
and people's
Christ.
careers probably being destroyed.
Yep, because think about it. GW bought up these animators, right? They threatened them. They did. They fucking threatened them. Like, hey, thanks for the fan animation, but we fucking hate you. And if you don't do what we tell you, work for us, we're going to destroy you. And then they're like, okay, we'll play ball. We'll work with you. And then like, all right, that's cute. You signed this contract. Now get the fuck out. Like that, they just threw them a curveball there. Like, fuck.
Because Warhammer Plus is failing, and we all know it. Its corpse is simply going to continue trundling on for a few years because it's already been pre-funded, and they can't just cancel it because it would look bad.
They really should. Maybe they would take their stocks.
They might hope that the Cavill series will reinvigorate it, but the thing is, Amazon is never going to agree to the stipulation that this is going to be a Warhammer Plus exclusive.
Oh,
like
God,
you go to Amazon, so Amazon, we'd like you to give us billions of dollars for this TV series, and we'd like to stream it on our tiny platform with 5 viewers.
Amazon's going to look at that. Like, that's one thing you can trust Amazon. While they're a piece of shit corporation that has no soul, they're greedy as fuck. And they won't allow that. So it will be on Amazon Prime.
Jeff Bezos just looks underneath his table and looks to the assistants. Like, Miriam, where's the desk shotgun? I want to shoot this guy.
I want to shoot this guy. Fair enough.
Scout Sergeant Zaku says they need to do a fething series about Gaunt's ghost, Commissar Kane, or something similar to the Book 15 Horus, perfect setting for Guardsmen. Gaunt's ghost would be great too. I don't want to see Cavill as Gaunt though. Gaunt is more of a Mark Strong character in my opinion. You know, he needs to look like he's been starving for a few years.
Just
I don't think Cavill probably could do him, but I'd like somebody more grim to do that. I don't know. I've got this feeling that Cavill would do actually pretty well as a pinch more of a humorous character, honestly. I don't know why.
Perhaps.
I've got a feeling. So John becomes a member. Thank you very much, sir. You are now a member of a very exclusive club. It is actually really exclusive, like you have to pay money to get in, so it fits the definition. Like Kyle even isn't a member, so you're more exclusive than Kyle now.
What are you talking about?
That's a good selling point. You have elevated yourself above the status of Merith.
I don't think so. I have no idea what we're talking about. There you go.
Tanushi says, if they want a girl boss character, there's always Angron's favorite mortal. She's a Chaos Renegade and the Corn, though, so... YouTube, why did you scroll? Why do you do this to me? So blood must flow. Yes, I remember her. I forget her name right now, but she's the one screaming like, fire the Urson's claw. She's kind of funny. I like her. Even Angron's like, yeah, angry bitch. Want to stay out of her way. She's kind of cute. She would also make for a good girlfriend, so long as securely tied to post, of course. Peter O'Donovan says, Oh, Jesus. Help me, Lord, for names. Sam Kimpa Cross of Iron type film about Imperial Guard. Yes. Yeah, no, that would work too. I've watched the Cross of Iron films. They're actually pretty adorable. They're pretty cute. They're pretty cutesy, you might even say. Yes, they've got adorable elements to them. A little bit of original All Quiet on the Western Front to them as well would be lovely. A little bit of that in there. Martin James says, no purchase at Amazon because the FTC will sue any mergers. I hope so. I mean, the thing is, Amazon, I don't know, because the FTC is there to stop monopolies, and you could kind of argue that GW is a monopoly in their branch, and so them being bought up is, well, going to be a bit of a problem there. At the same time, I don't know if there's a large enough market to really make the argument that it isn't a niche market. Plus, the FCC lacks balls half the time. I mean, they are currently being ruled by an undead, so, you know. Yeah, I do look forward to their suing of Blizzard, though. Zenothium says, Arch, can you spell that book? Liber what? Liber Chaotica.
I think you mean Microsoft, not Blizzard, right? Because that's their acquisition of Blizzard.
Yeah, but
they'd be suing Microsoft.
Blizzard is in there, dumbass. What the fuck's wrong with you?
But they're going to be suing Microsoft.
Come. Slap.
Who's acquiring who? You monkey.
I hope they sue both, just for shits and giggles.
I mean, that'd be funny, but I think it's only going to be Microsoft that gets sued.
No, the Liber Chaotica is a very old fluff book from back in the day when GW did fluff books. There's no rules in it whatsoever. It is a pure fluff book, and it's fucking enormous. And I love it to death. I've read it so many times, the binding is falling off. It's great.
Now that's a good book, Jeff. That's sad, though, because I always hate when books start to deteriorate and fall apart. I'm like, no. There are restoration people out there that will restore that for you, though.
I don't love it that much, Kyle.
Oh, okay. Well, we now know the limits of how much he loves it.
Like, I wish to rebind this book. That's a bit perverse, huh?
What? That's not perverse.
But it's
That's
a fantastic book.
Making it all nice and shiny again.
It's great. It's amazing. Convinced Reality says, be cautiously optimistic while also being proactively supportive of good decisions. Otherwise, others will be louder and take the reins for themselves. Yep, that is correct.
That's true.
There will be a lot of Henry Cavill coverage on this channel in the future. Henry Cavill, what does the cleft mean? It means subjugation, that's what it means. Maybe we can record a greatest hits tracks of Kyle making weird feminine noises and just play that whilst weird poor music goes in the background over a montage of Henry Cavill pictures running by. I'm sure Chad would appreciate it.
That'd require a lot of
between vomiting.
In between vomit. Well, that's one way to lose weight.
Mechanicus on duty says, just curious if you've been following the Magistrate Mundanus that Tex has been doing. He's hoping something good comes to 40k soon. I have not, so I don't know what that is, unfortunately.
What was it called? I'll look it up.
Magistrata Mundanus.
Google.
It's a podcast he does, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, I don't watch podcasts. That's, like, way too much time. Work too much. Barch works too much, too.
Go on the dock. Says, deceiving men and women apart is good for business. Dividing, I guess. Because now you need birthing pods to have kids. Babies as products. And the best part is, when we turn babies into products, think of all the lovely other things we could make from babies, like baby back ribs. Tish. Kind of laugh. That was funny. What's wrong with you?
I was trying to get that to pop, but I can't get anything to pop at all.
Terrible.
Doesn't exist.
Or soap made of babies. That'd be kind of funny. Oh my, your skin is so smooth. Why? Baby soap.
Wow.
There are many, many products to be made out of babies, chat. Only your imagination puts the limits on it.
Wow. Rude.
Not rude. More like inciting.
What?
Fox 20 says, it kind of looks like Elon will finally fulfill that promise for cat kills when this starts up. Ooh, See, that's a good thing. Like, you could send in your request to the baby pod. It's like, so, what would you like your baby to be? Cat girl. There you go.
Wow.
We've solved it.
Women will no longer allowed to be humans anymore. They must all be cat girls as punishment.
Yeah, we will
sins.
have to reduce their status on the market, but such is life.
No more human girls, only cat girls. There you go, chat.
Due to demand issues. Magnus Lord says, baby in a pod, enter the Battletech clans. I prefer cat girls first and foremost. Let's get cat girls first, then we can work on the mechas.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Dean Domino 25 says, while it may be dystopian, women were okay with making men obsolete via kicking dads out of the home for government checks and constantly labeling them as the source of all evil. Gender divide was in full swing long ago. That is true too. See, we gave them rights, and that was, as Sargon would put it, a mistake. I'm joking, by the way, you two. I don't think giving women rights was a mistake. I think policing them incorrectly was. I have a proud history of misogyny to uphold, I'll have you know.
Yeah, we we have some misogyny to uphold here, chat.
I have heard the whole women vote argument, and it has elements of truth with it, but it's more along the lines of responsibility. Like, women have not had enough responsibility in the world, in my opinion. Like, the idea that, okay, we only recently introduced universal suffrage for the military, for example. Like, that should have been a prerequisite for any discussion about anything else. Because, like, okay, you want equal rights, you're going to have equal duties, and there we go. Simple as. I do not think that women are the destroyers of civilization, however. That might be a step too far.
Yeah, that's the more ludicrous one where it's like, women, that mean civilization implode. It's like, okay. Back off your schizomeds, buddy.
Ike of Pike says, so Arch, I got an idea to piss both GW and Wizard of the Coast off. Make a 5e variant using a grimdark future setting and kickstart it. But that would get Kyle sued.
I'm not gonna do that. I like Arch, like, I think Kib can do it. Off to the suicide mission it is.
Troy Neenan says, I remember somebody saying something about Cavill not making a good Cyphers Kane. You're remembering correctly.
You could do Cyphers Kane.
Glow in the Dark says, ready to pay tithe to GW and the Wizards of the Coast. Oof. Be careful with that. They might take your pants as well in your own way. Wow. Praise Loon says, can I get a happy birthday from the Glorious Arch? Happy birthday, sir. I hope you get many wonderful free things. Including socks and shirts and good things. The moment I knew I had become an adult was the moment I looked into my cabinet and thought to myself, God, I hope I get socks for Christmas.
I know, right?
Especially the big floofy ones when it's cold outside. Oh, they're great.
See, at first you're like, oh, clothing? That's dumb. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to go clothes shopping. That's gay. Somebody should gift me.
Yeah, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, somebody gift me shoes or socks or a pants or a shirt. Like, I'll take that. I don't want to go to the clothes store.
I'm the kind of guy who, if he has to go clothes shopping, like, I pick out a pant and then I go to the register and go, is this all? No, I want 4 or 5 more like it.
Yeah, can I just, like, this the same? And it's like, okay, so you're just going to wear the same thing. It's like, I don't care what it looks like. I just need clothes.
5X this, please.
God damn it. We need to return to Greekabooism. Everyone must be naked.
Artemis Fowl says, Kibbs got the brony cosmetic he always wanted.
Wow.
That's true. Mr. Personality says, remember to breed Kibbs. Actively. Particularly around the Christmas seasons. He's fertile then.
Okay.
It's a seasonal thing, okay? Like many animals.
It is the season. Cursed. All right, moving on.
It's the season to be breeding.
I don't like how that rolls off the tongue too well.
Troy Neenan says, old man reacts wants live-action Armageddon movie with himself as a Kazgul. What setting do you want to star in? I want to star in the most popular one. Yeah. That's why.
Fair enough.
Like, I want to be Ray, okay?
I want to be famous blondie.
Yes. That's good. Mark the Same says some mods are good enough to qualify to quality, to justify payment, but are still free. Unification for Dawn of War, Awakening of the Rebellion for Star Wars Empire at War. Yes, and they must remain free because we saw what happened when they tried to make modding a paid-for service.
Mm-hmm.
Everything collapsed.
I think
got ruined.
The fair balance, the way I like how modding is kind of turned into, is modders start up their own little patrons, and that's great because people who have the free spending money that want to support the modding content creator does well, and so it creates a merits-based system where those who do well enough get actual proper funding to do it full time. This is an excellent way to do it.
I like how you snuck in Merit in there.
Merit-based. There's
That
no
was a clever sneak in there, Kyle. Some fucking psyops going on right there.
See, as much as I like to squeak, we ain't sneaking and we certainly ain't squeaking. Bad old
Gotta be
Blimby.
careful, Kyle, of the Merith. Artemis Fowl says, remember that Kibbs agreed to wear programmer socks. Hashtag sock fund.
You'll never reach that goal, Chant. 100,000 is out of your reach. That was a meme. Delusions.
Yeah, but still programmer socks, Kyle.
Listen, that's 2 years of studio, actually well over 2 years of studio funding.
Still weird, Kyle. Still weird.
Our game will be long along the ways of fucking playability. It'll be glorious.
Mark James says, the 140k Commander card packs was the last straw. The fuck?
Commander card packs? The fuck is he talking about?
I'm glad I don't know about this. For me, the last straw, honestly, was the fucking 40k bathrobes. Like, that was the point I was like, and they even looked cheap and shitty, too. It's like,
they look awful. And it felt corporate. And then they released, like, fucking candles, like Warhammer candles. And it was unironically done, too. It's like, it's the kind of shameless corporatism that's like, okay, this is just cringe. Where's my
it's
Warhammer
what we
40K?
call monetization.
I want my Warhammer 40k Speedo. It's like, all right, we've gone too far.
Time to go back in time to Hiroshima on that fateful day.
Giga's trying it again. Let's see if it works.
Glowy says, I don't think Ukraine command wants to let Russians retreat freely. I think Ukraine has some problems, if not worse than Russia. Their logistics suck. Only reason they have an advantage at first was that they didn't need to move. Now they need to move hardware. Yep, in part as well. And they lack initiative. They are too careful. They are too afraid of getting ruffle popped. But the thing is, if they don't take the risk of getting ruffle stomped, they can't ruffle stomp the Russians either. And if they can't ruffle stomp the Russians, they're simply going to lose a long, drawn-out conflict.
I mean,
at some point, you've just got to run.
How old is Putin? You know, maybe they're trying to wait till, you know, he clocks out.
Bad, Kyle.
But they might be. Like, if that's the strategy, like, maybe he'll die of old age.
Judo Cricket says, no Abnett I get, but Cavill needs to be gone to play out the entire Savage Worlds Crusade. That lets you start with the Guard, but will introduce most of the wider 40k settings. See, I think he could do Gaunt, but they need to take away his food for a while first.
It's like, you're gonna have to starve a little bit.
You're gonna have to be a little bit less buff, too. Like, my dude. Like, you look like a brick shit house. Stop it.
Right. Gonna have to ask you to lose those muscles.
And you're also gonna have to carry this heavy sword and massive bolt gun, so, you know. Artemis Fowl says, BlackRock is backed by the Federal Reserve with zero interest rate and a limited time to pay it back. They are just the arm of the Fed. Well, that's until we get somebody good in there. I don't know, like, I'm fucking DeSantis, my dude. Fucking DeSantis. On the one hand, he's got a little bit too many connections with people I don't like. On the other, he is saying and doing most of the right things. I'm just like, can he be a good boy? Can he be the goodest of boys, or must it be Trump again? And I am worried that Trump is losing steam. That whole trading card thing was retarded. Even though it did sell like mad. Like, he sold all 45,000 of them for $99 a pop in like 11 hours, so yeah. God knows. Kyle,
Hey,
do you own a Trump trading card?
no.
Not very patriotic of you.
Very. I don't have free spending money for luxury items.
Oh,
You did call it a
Kyle.
luxury
It's a
item.
piece of patriotism. It's a necessary item.
The only money I have is to throw at my art team so that they can keep churning out more materials. More.
Oh, you heard it here, chat. Kyle's not very patriotic.
The best way to be patriotic is for me to succeed.
The best way to be patriotic is to buy a Trump trading card game. Don't you forget it, boy.
Hey, he made fucking bank though, so I mean, you know.
M.W. Ball says, I'd just like to point out that while Season 2 of The Witcher may have been easy to follow by normies, it was a Ring of Power level lore grape. Oh, sure it was. Like, even Season 2 wasn't amazing, but it was better than 1. Which is like, you know, if you're already eating shit, and you've got to eat more shit, then being able to put some salt on it, or ketchup or something, helps. I don't think all the ketchup in the world can save Season 2 of Rings of Power, though. I just don't think that quantity of ketchup exists.
Good. Good. Blade said
the
that.
Doc says,
Hold on a second. Blade says that, oh no, my toddler just said Gibbs.
oh god,
Cursed. All right, carry on.
fetch the fucking flamethrower.
Reward him with cookies. Do it now.
I'm sorry, little me, but you must die now in fire.
Wow, that's a bit
Goo goo
extreme.
gaga kibs.
Unnecessary violence.
How unnecessary, my ass. That was self-defense, and even the police will agree.
Wow.
It's like, why did you do it? He said Gibbs. He's released within an hour.
It's like,
All
well,
charges
you know,
dropped.
charges dropped.
He walks out of there with a fucking medal. The mother's still a bit upset, but she understands.
What? They're like, we can try again, honey. It's like, damn. We can try.
Yeah, there's a tearful scene. He's embracing her. The camera is slowly zooming in on them. This time we'll get it right, honey.
We know better now. That's terrible. Back to Glowy Super.
I would be an excellent just
damn
Cavill, okay? I would be a great idea man for a TV show. I would be. Absolutely amazing.
Wow.
It might be a bit spicy. And some toddlers may be hurt. But it would be funny. I can do gay porn too. We came up with a whole script for a gay porn movie at some point.
Barcher's degenerate. Why did I forget that for a second?
You helped, motherfucker.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't.
It was the one with the doctor and the cowboy who came in wearing nothing but boots, and the doctor was like, "Well, that one."
I don't know what you're talking about. I think Arch is delusional and is becoming senile in his old age. Unfortunate.
You are lying.
Under the bus you go.
Glow in the Dark says, I think the backup plan with ESG is to destroy people's retirement funds, so they must use government welfare and then use that dependency against you. I mean, what welfare funds?
That's true. That's awful. That's tragic, but also true.
No, chat. The gay porn would not be starring Gibbs, because we would have somebody... This would be the most stereotypical gay porn movie in the history of stereotypes. Like, the dude in the cowboy boots would just be enormous. Like, he would be hentai huge, okay? Like, his muscles would be like watermelons. He'd be eating nothing but steroids for a week. The doctor, too, would look normal until he turns around, spreads his leg completely, and he realizes he's naked underneath the doctor robes. Like, I imagine their pecs would dance in tune with them speaking, stuff like that. It'd be great. Charlie says, Emperor protect Cavill. Also keeps breeding farmland.
Wow. Cannot believe this rhetoric, chat. You and your fantasies must end here. Arch is the new Obama. Oh, bam. Oh, good. We can blame Barch then. Thanks. That doesn't work as well. Barch Obama. Barchama? Yeah, it's better. It needs work.
Ram Ranch is a good title, chat, but I think it needs something more doctoral. Like the Dickens Hospital.
The Dickens Hospital. This is some fucking Norwegian mountain monkey level humor right here.
I need a word for hospital that starts with a D.
Discipline. I don't know.
The Dickens discipline?
That sounds
No,
like
that gives me more of a
BDSM.
picture of a dude in a reclining chair, or more of the leather chair with a pipe smoking it, with a giant mustache.
Oh no, this is like some fucking 18th century Brit Bong over here.
Kiwi Pirate says the Chad Tower railgun does not fail the custodies, nor does their invulnerability save, sir. Ginger Gandalf says, just got back from visiting Bergen, you poor soul. Christ, I hope you have like 6 jobs with those prices. Also, when can we expect you on the Lotus Eaters? Probably next year when I go over to England to be there and be sad because their food is shit. Mark James says, should have had stable diffusion make a squat. It would have done a better job.
That's true.
Dr. Dickens' Doctorium. That works, kind of.
Dr. Dickens' Doctorium. Sounds very... almost... Latin. Yeah, Doctorium. It gives a very Latin vibe.
Dr. Dickens, you done with that patient yet? Almost. Done.
Damn. Gross. Terrible.
Kyle, your rampant homophobia will not deter me from what must be done.
Listen, we may hang out with gay people, and I might tolerate them. All dog.
You might be one.
What?
Kiwi Pirate says GW spent the last 20 years heavily foreshadowing a Halo Star-based Sloth Rangda faction made up of Eldritch horrors, then gave us the squats instead. There you go. Get fucked. Troy Neenan says, due to a nature of Dark Yellow City, our human Eldar souls stuck there. Voltan might be good if they went mining luck and mining weapons. Yeah, no, their souls should be stuck there, because it's in the warp, in a bubble, and nothing escapes. And if something does escape, then she who thirsts will realize where they are. So, yeah, probably. That sucks. Mark James says, that's what happens when you ask market research to be creative. True. Market research should be purged. And Hyal says, Kibbs, that's a Halo Wars gremlin. Kind of is.
What? Halo Wars what now? Gremlin?
Gremlin.
Oh, the Gremlin. Hold on, let me give it a giggle. Halo Wars Gremlin. Emojis. Oh my god, yeah.
Kinda like it, yeah. That's actually disturbingly much like it, yeah. Don't like it. Don't like it a little bit.
That kind of looks similar.
JD says, have you seen all the times that Cavill kept subtly rejecting Millie Bobby Brown? The woman won't stop being thirsty in public. No, but I appreciate his efforts. Honors Fowl says, remember when GW had the smart idea to hire the Astartes guy, and then decided to put an inferior version on Warhammer Plus, and then did nothing with him? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It was what we call a middle finger.
Isn't that great? This Astartes animator guy who did this fantastic animation will now be forgotten in time because they literally did everything they could to basically erase him. And they succeeded.
He's stuck in a fucking cellar somewhere, working on something he doesn't want to.
Working on something that'll never see the light of day. Hey, hold on. I think that one thing that we saw from him was that Horus Heresy animation.
Well, we don't know if that was him. Like, it looks kind of like it could be him, but...
Maybe. Like, that was the closest thing I saw to his style, because, I don't know, I've got a knack for seeing artists, and sometimes they all have that unique stroke to their work, so to speak. Like, the way the movement and how he conveys movement seemed very similar.
Mark James says greed is good when I do it. Unironically so. The Grizzly became a member. Thank you very much, sir. You now have a white arch next to your name. This is good. It
White
gives
supremacy.
you a position of, you could say, white power in our ranks.
My God. You too can attain white power.
It's fine. Inquisitor Yog Soth says GW has become creative death and the destroyer of fun. Yes, pretty much. They have become a sad and pathetic shell of themselves. All they ever will be. The Grizzly says, what do you think the chances of Henry Cavill project not going woke? I hope he can get a true to form 40k or 30k series. I'm just very worried about women space marines, or the Emperor retconned into being a woman, or some such nonsense. There is always a danger. Because Cavill is going to be one man amongst many. And he is going to have to do a lot of active pushback. So, who knows? But I hope not. Again, like, it all comes down to, I thoroughly do believe that Henry Cavill will do his best, but I also think Amazon will do their best too.
Mm-hmm. To fuck it over.
And that was for a very generous $50 too, sir. Thank you very much. Extra butt lickies for you.
Oh, all right then. We're going places.
Marcia Same sends 2 super chats, both of which were message retracted, so I'm presuming Susan intervened there.
What?
Susan just snuck on in there with a bat and smacked him over the head. Delete, delete. Kiwi Pirate says, on my way to buy a custom-made elf girlfriend. I hear they make excellent sex dolls these days, sir. Just remember to keep it out of sight somewhere.
I'm sorry, I just saw the emojis Black posted. If you become a member, you get access to some unique emojis.
You do. One of them is me as a cat.
Look, no, I like the big chubby bars on the left. Oh, goddamn. That was good. I don't like that one. I don't know why I put it there. Look at that chat.
I was confused.
I'm not confused. I can see it right there. You also have I assume a breed Kibbs there, and we got, what's the brown-haired girl?
That's Goth Girl from the Star Wars series.
Oh.
Nobody remembers her, which makes me sad. And that is not breed Kibbs, it's bread Kibbs. What the fuck? It's bread.
This is just the face on it. This looks like Jake's style.
I don't know.
It's Jake. I can tell.
Don't remember. I kind of like the ArchCat because it looks very demeaning.
It does. Very blonde, too. I appreciate that. Radiates.
Mark Shame says, I'd take a busty point-ear elf girl from the pod. Yeah, I mean, custom-made babies. There's no reason why we couldn't.
Just maybe.
I see any problems.
Oh, that sucks. You grow up as a kid and like, damn it, I'm the fucking manifestation of a weird fetish of my parents. Big fucking sad. I'm gonna do that. I'll do that to all my children now. All 70 of them that I'll make in that machine thing.
Crazy Loon says, Arch, for God Emperor, glorious golden Norwegian. I would make a pretty good Emperor. I would. Person whose name I can't say on new YouTube says, have you bought Kyle pencils for Christmas? Yes, I have. 60 of them.
You did. Thank you for the generous
They will
gift.
be delivered to his urethra in the near future.
Those pencils came in the form of dollars.
Mark Shame says, they made one of the 40k cards for Magic the Gathering. Oh, right. That was the thing they did too. That was disgusting. You're welcome. Crazy Loon has also become a member now. Thank you very much, sir. You too now will have a little arch by your name. And you can post cats with bread. Cats made out of bread in chat.
Also, fun fact, chat, if more of you decide to check out the membership thing, you can not only end up supporting Little Blonde Bimbo here, you also get a cute little badge, and the more of you that become members, the more emojis Arch can put in there. Yes, YouTube is retarded and locks our emojis to how many we can have based on how many members we have. So, you know, give it a think over, and we can add more stupid emojis. And they look great. Look at them. Look fucking retarded.
Pretty much.
It's great.
Crazy Loon says, also, Arch, what is the game you once called a Microsoft spreadsheet masquerading as a video game?
Starts with a
I'm sure there
V.
were many games I just called that.
The first thing that comes, when I think spreadsheets and video game, the first thing that comes to mind is EVE Online. Because I remember playing that for so many hours, and I remember thinking, I think back on it now, I'm like, is that cool ships and cool space stuff? But I remember mostly looking at spreadsheets. That's what my biggest memory was, spreadsheets and thinking about economics. I'm like, okay, how much does this sell for here? Oh god, that game's dead. I think a lot of people in chat also think EVE Online. That is the spreadsheet game. It is. If there's a game that's a spreadsheet, EVE Online is that, because you will make literal spreadsheets outside of the game just to play the game, which is kind of cool in a way, but also cursed.
There are many games I play that are basically Microsoft spreadsheets. It's practically all the games I do play these days, frankly. Dominions, Command, No, it's basically the only thing I play now.
Spreadsheet simulators.
How did we get here?
How could this happen to Barch?
Blood917 says, Quick and Hail ArchCast, our Lord and Savior, breed Kibs.
Wow.
Indeed, breed Kibs.
Rude.
I would recommend Dominions, though. If you just want single player with infinite replayability, there you go.
Actually, I would not recommend Dominion single player because you're going to get bored. You got to play with friends.
You just play a different faction.
It's okay. Let me put it this way. If you think about getting Dominions, you need to get the latest version. You also need to bear this in mind, chat. The user interface is fucking horrendous. And you should probably look at the game a little bit and judge harshly before you pick it up. Because it's very overpriced for what it's worth, if you don't like it especially. Like, just look into it. Do a little bit of research. Because there's a lot of people who end up disappointed with it.
Bad person, Kip. Nobody.
It's a niche game. Be honest with the audience. You're asking them to spend $40 on a game that they might fucking loathe or they might like.
They do have the price way too high, don't they?
They do. So just, look at it a little bit and decide for yourself if you want. Arch and I are going to do a YouTube series on it very soon, starting next month. And we're going to play Dominions campaign. And you guys, if you want, you can watch Arch is going to do like customized lore for it. And we're going to do the streams over on my channel. And you can see if you like it.
Yeah.
It's hit or
It'll
miss.
star Kanye West. I lied. But...
You did lie. You just lied there. Bad.
I did, but it'll be good clickbait, okay?
Wait for a sale too. I would recommend if you're gonna try it, pick it up on sale because it's a bit steep asking price. If you like it though, it might be a game that'll blow your socks off, or it might make you, regret your life decisions.
Q Pirate says Kibs fetishing elves isn't weird. It's weird not to.
Elves are
That's
not
true.
worth
It is
fetishizing.
weird.
You must exterminate them.
Elves are to be maintained in small cages and bred.
Wow, rude. Every time I say it, it's true.
It is the only way. Mark James says, once the new faction comes out, you should make Kibs play Nebula's Fleet Command. We do need to play that again,
we're gonna
because
stream it.
We had no idea what was happening, and that game badly needs a slow-mo mode, and I think they introduced one.
Barch and I if you saw our stream for it, we got a little upset. Because the thing is, it's a really cool game, but it's also extremely stressful. Because you're like trying to figure out how to do things, and if you fuck up a little bit in that game, oh boy, it can be an absolute disaster for your fleet. I hope we figure it out. We do need to play it again. But also, early access, it's like, maybe waiting is the better option. Because they're adding a lot of quality of life features as time goes on.
You're in early access.
Possibly. Underdeveloped. A little undercooked. A little raw.
Desert Hamster says, Kanye is no longer mentioned. He's self-immolated. Poor Kanye. He has been somewhat yeeted off the internet. I hope he's not yeeted completely off the internet. That'd make me a bit sad. I would prefer it if he was still a happy boy somewhere. And Gunfox61 says, Kibs, I will make you play XCOM Enemy Within or Frostpunk. Not sure which one. He'd probably scream louder at XCOM, and it would take him longer. Frostpunk, he'd just die a couple times, and then he'd beat it, and then he'd be done.
XCOM's a little infuriating, because the game's really cool premise, but it's too RNG focused and not skill focused enough for my taste. Because part of what makes a tactics game cool and fun for me is when your tactics and your decisions actually matter more. The RNG element is makes it a little bit too potato-y. Less tactical, more dice rolly. I don't like it.
Tonushi says, around elves, watch yourselves. And around a Finn, the ice is thin. I like Finns, actually. I dislike Swedes more. True.
It's true. Even though you're Swede.
And finally, all the way at the end, Kiwi Pirate says, as a ethical consumer, I only breed free-range elves. Well, that's a problem, because we're going to have to make them in pods.
Make them
Otherwise, they don't exist.
Pods. Free-range elves. Free-range elves, they could breach containment. Not worth it.
You
Oh,
just
wait.
put trackers on them.
Another super.
It's fine. The tracker will work wonders, Kyle.
Beep, beep.
And Black 1917 sneaks in at the end there with a very generous $20. People are already born because of their parents' fetishes, kids. That's true. Just look up how many people grew up being bullied because they were named after a famous fictional character. Because their parents are that kind of nerd.
They're like, huh? We
No.
We made a baby.
Calling a
like,
child Optimus Prime is not a bad idea.
It's like, well, I want to
Though
call
calling him Megatron is better.
All right, Megatron, I'm gonna have to ask you to sit down. Like in school. Oh my god. What would his
Megatron might not
nickname
want
be?
it, though.
It'd probably just be Mega. And if you say it in a certain way, it could be mispronounced a little bit with an N and an I. Wink.
Kyle. Bad.
You know you want to. Don't
Jump
lie.
off cliff.
You'll say it as soon as we end the stream, won't you? He's like, yeah, I will.
And Black 1917 also says rat power. Yes. Rat power is the only good form of power.
Mm-hmm. The best kind. Squeaky. Oh.
And he gifted 5 ArchCast membership.
Wow.
Very generous. So you do need to enable that somehow, somewhere.
Yes. For future reference, for those who don't get the gifted memberships, what you're going to want to do is just Google how to enable gifted memberships and then just enable it. That way in the future, if somebody, you know, gets generous and you win the lottery, you get a little membership, which is nice.
Very generous.
Mm-hmm.
And another one. Charlie says, get Zenthak on the show. It would be funny. Does he even talk to other humans, Kyle?
I know that he's a fairly isolated individual, but it would be super cool if he came on. I think he does talk to other people. He makes like great meme reviews. They're fantastic.
Well, Kyle will have to be responsible for that then. So if that doesn't happen, yell at him.
What? Chat, you're responsible. I passed it on to you. Get to it. Like, okay. And then report back to me your findings. Good, obedient.
And now then, I think that is about everything. Yep, that's the Streamlabs too. Good. Kyle, you managed to get the stream limited monetization again. Why did you always do this?
I didn't do nothing. Beep. I didn't say any naughty words or any slurs like you do on my channel. Like you're probably going to do later today.
I sure hope so.
He's like, I will try to make it turn red. He does that. I swear. It's like, March is like, every time we do stuff together, he's like, let's see if we can make that red. Thank God people donate, or I'll keep go hungry and starve to death.
But we will be playing more ammo today. I'm going to go and get snacks first, though. Having myself a nice little bit of food to recharge. And then we'll play some more ammo. Yes.
Yes, we'll be streaming over on my channel, so come on over.
So, until then, thank you all very much for watching and for your super generous donations and for partaking in our lovely little stream about Henry Cavill's everything. Yeah. His pecs, his bum, his lovely eyes, all of these things that we now love and praise, and it's part of our religion.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna have like a little picture of him as your that's right.
Yep, we're gonna have to. There's simply no way around it. And hopefully, we will see you all again soon. Until then, have a good day.
Goodbye.